The apocalypse is coming. Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running, frantically running from their fears, running with their tears, running from their lives, running from that dark shadowed creature that hides deep inside.
Good morning, good morning. This is Ray Felix with Warren Comics. We're doing it outdoors today because it's hot as hell in my house. It's like, so my place has central air, but because the house is so old, it's 1994. It's not that old, but New York state law has changed, and they required people to change their units for air conditioning, upgrade it. It's like $28,000, and I don't have that money to do that. So we literally have no AC in the house. We just have a fan, we have central air fans. On cool days, it's frosty and chilly, like last night. On a hot day like today, it's pretty warm. So, and yeah, it's weird because they still sell the chemical online to houses around the United States, but in New York, it's illegal. So New York is a little uptight about stuff. But, I wanted to open up today talking about some comic books that I loved as a kid. Legends by John Byrne was one of my favorite books growing up. It's probably one of the first comic books series that really got me hooked into DC Comics and got me, wanting to read more. And this is probably where I became political and didn't even realize it, because there are so many things in this series that it's reversed on the camera, that really hit home. Like, it starts off as a regular comic book, right? I got the #1 issue here somewhere. So this was the first issue. Taking it out of the bag. Ooh, watch it. So this is the first issue. Here is issue 4. But this is the dark side, right? So it starts off as this regular comic book series. Let me get the coffee out of the way. So this thing's an antique. It was published, I believe, in 86 or 87, 86. All right, so 1986. I'm about 13 years old, so. And so it opens up with Apocalypse, your traditional. John Ostrander wrote it with Len Wein. John Byrne was a penciler. Carcuzzel was the inker. Steve Haney was the letterer, and Tom Zucco was the colorist. And good old Mike Gold was the editor, right? So you could see that the story opens up like a typical evil 2-dimensional dark side. You got Desaad here, hey, we're gonna go after these superheroes. We're gonna destroy them. They're plotting what Glorious Godfrey. I was saying Gilbert Godfrey. It's and then you have these incidents that are being occurred, kind of like Flash Gordon. If you remember Flash Gordon, the movie that was also very political. People slept on that. So they're creating all these unfortunate events that are actually causing lives. So you got this radioactive station being attacked, and then Ronnie Raymond, the Firestorm, starts to fight him. He gets his ass kicked. He gets crushed. He gets defeated. He gets beaten. And you got this other incident with Deadshot and the Flash. So it starts off as a very 2-dimensional series. All right. Deadshot, as you know, is one of the members of Suicide Squad. All right. And then it starts off with this part. This is where it starts to change. Glorious Godfrey says, and I'd like to thank you for having me here today Mr. Bastin, which is Shazam, to discuss the problem that ultimately affects us all, the menace of the so-called superheroes who live like a ticking time bomb in our very midst, right? So this guy is like a divider, a hate monger, He's saying superheroes aren't bad, right? Now, this is not an original idea. This is something where they got from Watchmen, which was very successful. So here they're trying to replicate the success of Watchmen by putting these stories that are not typical two-dimensional superheroes, right? And then the interview just continues, and you have this debate going on the meantime with Kid Flash, who became the Flash after the Crisis, Wally West, and then I'm gonna just skip. I'm not gonna read the whole book. I'm just gonna read the interview part. And so Billy Batson, who is Shazam, that's his alter ego, he says, considering all the good superheroes have done over the years, Mr. Godfrey, I fail to see your point. He says, my point is simply that this Mr. Batson, these costume mystery men provided negative role modeling for children. They emphasize violence as a solution to the world's problems. They are outmolded, maladjusted loners, outlaws working outside the system too. And then click, the TV goes off, right? Then there's this whole thing with the TV station, a lot of drama. Then Billy Basin basically sneaks in. And then you see that was all part of the intention with this guy. Now, the more you read, you'll realize spoilers. If you didn't read this series, go fuck yourself. This is 1986. There's an ad by Mask. It's like, I say that flippantly, but is that Gilbert Godfrey again? Glorious Godfrey is one of the men of apocalypse. He's one of these deceivers. Oh, sorry, two people just one of these deceivers of the comic book thing. Man, two people just dropped out because I said go fuck yourself. Sensitive crowd. Sorry. And then these other events start to happen. But why I say it's political because this is like the introduction of Amanda Waller. Now she was, I believe, this is not her first appearance, but she's a major player in this book, and you can see that she's using the Suicide Squad to basically intervene onto this, because this is kind of like the origin of the Suicide Squad. All right, and then this is the Justice League that most people don't remember. You got Latino. Okay, oh, we lost another person. Whoa. So, hey man, how's it going?
Pretty good. I'm here.
Just going through this thing here. I'm talking about the first comic book that was probably political. Oh, let me move this to the main stage. Hold on a second. Whoops.
Superhero comic.
Yeah, superhero comic. So this one's like Legends. I don't know if you read it. I just said spoilers. If you didn't read this book, it was from 1986. So go fuck yourself. And then 3 people dropped off right after.
Oh, Ray.
Yeah, people don't understand my humor. But
it's a New York kind of sense of humor.
Yeah, I think so. It's I'm going to
so.
spoil this comic book if you didn't read it. Sorry. But this was like the rise of this guy, Glorious Godfrey, which was a Kirby character, that they kind of put him in this position, kind of like Trump. And this book kind of really inspired like the sequel to the Trump Land, because it starts off as a 2-dimensional comic where, Darkseid's messing with humanity, kind of like the Olympic gods of old would interfere with mankind. And then you have this whole thing with Ronald Reagan. Like you have Ronald Reagan in the comics. You got this Trump-like character.
He almost looks like Arcade.
Yeah, he looks like Arcade, right? Exactly.
Yeah, he looks like Arcade.
Yeah. It's like, John Byrne draws everybody to look alike. Then you have like these riots and stuff. And then what's interesting is that they really it's not just like a cameo. Like sometimes they'll have a president show up. I mean, they really go into like the whole Ronald Reagan outlawing superheroes. So,
I remember that. Yeah.
This is like 1986.
I remember the storyline. Yeah, I never
Mhm.
read it, but I remember the storyline.
Yeah,
Like Batman. I would read my DC comics that I read were Batman.
yeah,
Any of the Batman comics. That was my thing. And then my Marvel comics was Spider-Man and X-Men.
yeah. I loved X-Men. That was like my main book until
Mine too.
until the Invisibles took them over.
Mm.
But I mean, this is a political comic book, and we don't really address this or identify this as a political comic book as a superheroes. But you have Superman consulting with Ronald Reagan, who was like the most,
Yeah, and you have to put it in the context because at that time you have Alan Moore
yeah,
with
yes,
Watchmen,
it's
which is
what,
very political.
yeah,
And I think a lot of people were trying to make comics more serious because at that time it was seen as kid stuff. And
yes,
now that you can do stuff like this, everybody wants to run back to making kid stuff.
right. And then you
Like,
got Robin getting his ass kicked in a riot. It's like a Black Lives Matter riot. It's like anti superhero riot. But it's like
mhm.
or like a January 6th type of thing, right? Choose your demonstration that
Well, I
leads.
guess yeah, like an anti superheroes. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, and then you got Darkseid revealing his secret weapon, like how he's going to take over. So he's got the deep state thing going on here. It's like,
Yeah,
but I just think it's an interesting book, and how it just literally
yeah,
focuses on this polarizing character, which is there's a lot of Hollywood movies like that about polarizing, like the Manchurian Candidate, that talks about politics and
oh yeah. I mean, even one of
McCarthyism, all that stuff.
I think I've mentioned this before. The EC comic,
Yep.
the one that was the nail in its coffin, the final nail in its coffin, was a comic about the robots that were blue and red
Yes.
and the black astronaut.
Yes.
And he only appears in one panel at the end when he takes off his helmet, but that was just too much.
Yeah. Set off a chain of events. Yeah.
Set off a chain of events. So it's always been political. Anyone who,
Yeah.
I think that we've been very comfortable up here, and
Yeah.
we're like lobsters. It's slowly like bubbling, and we don't want to realize that it's getting hotter and worse, and we don't want to talk about it. We want these little enclaves of places for fantasy, as opposed
Right.
to allowing the fantasy to digest the things that we're going through, that
Exactly.
we can simplify things and maybe sort of strip away some of the ideology to talk about ideas.
Right. And
You
and, and,
know?
it, and it really focuses on division and hate. And I don't know. The reason why I bring this book up is because it reminds me of everything that happened with Donald Trump and the whole Biden election. And even before Biden, you had Hillary Clinton, and there was this whole division that seemed very Hollywood like, like,
Go back to the McCarthyism.
yeah, McCarthyism. Yeah.
I mean, the
It's,
ruling class has always been dividing us and ruling us this way.
yeah.
Because if we actually say,
13-year-olds,
yeah, but I mean, it's just basic. It's basic
Yeah.
stuff. I mean,
It's basic stuff. Yeah.
this
But
goes back to Rome, divide and rule.
yes, divide and conquer.
Well, that's conquer, ruling.
Ruling,
Different.
yes.
You already did the conquering. Now you got to
Yes.
manage shit.
Now you got to manage it. It's like, attention, Walmart shoppers. But I mean, covers like this, where it's like the heroes versus the everyday person. I think John Byrne really nailed it, And this is after he did a stint on X-Men and already captivated us with our imaginations with Chris Claremont. Even though it was like Ostrander and Len Wein that wrote the story, I mean, he really brings it to life,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people dog on him because certain attitudes he has are
Oh yeah,
certain
Chuck
issues.
Dixon, not Chuck Dixon, the other guy. What's his name? The guy who's the artist of Batman. Very
Yeah, Chuck Dixon.
yeah, Chuck Dixon, very right leaning, right, and then
Yeah.
and Graham Nolan. It's like Graham Nolan said on Facebook. Because I only say this because I follow him. He made something about like Batman would support ICE. It's like what? It's like I was like,
Yeah, I
he
think
probably
he's right.
would. He might be right.
He would.
It's sad,
See,
but he
one
would.
thing, the late great
It's
Anthony
fucked up.
Burgess-
Because
Burgess-
he's becoming more like a Judge Dredd character,
if I should find this essay for you by the late great David Graeber.
Mhm.
If you haven't read any of David Graeber's books, he's an anthropologist.
Right.
You should.
Right.
because it will definitely sidekick you into realizing that this world we live in is very plastic. It's very malleable.
Right. Right.
But he wrote an essay on superheroes, and he was saying, really, there's nothing revolutionary about them.
Right.
You got the heroes who maintain the actual system as is, and the
Mm.
villains who just want to take over the system. But
Right.
neither one of them want to change it.
Right.
So it's a worthwhile essay to kick over to you. I'll try to find it.
And
And
then
it
you
was,
grew up in Canada and in Europe and stuff, so you're familiar with Judge Dredd and all that, where
yep,
Judge Dredd would
yep. But that
be
was a
like,
satire, right?
it was a satire, yeah. But a lot of people, but Americans take it like it's
Yeah,
in
because
reverse. Yeah,
we're fascistic in our thinking.
fascistic. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
like this guy is supposed to be like he's kind of like a Rorschach type of character, but more authoritarian, and it's like he's like
Judge, jury, and executioner.
judge, jury, and execution. Is basically the idea of, and but we glorify this behavior, like there's like abuse. Clearly, it's about a corrupt cop, but he has the jurisdiction to in his
Mhm.
mind he's obeying the law.
Yeah,
But he's
and that
going
goes for
against
all of
poor
the
people and
judges.
aliens, foreigners. It's like
Yeah.
it's almost like he's like the foreigners are being depicted as alien or other, like monsters, creatures, and he's like battling these guys and taking them out with extreme force, extreme
Yeah.
violence. So
I think one of the
ice, I would say. Judge Dredd is like ice.
yeah, I think one of the writer, one of the artists on it, I think he was of Spanish descent. I think
Mhm.
his family ended up. I could be wrong. They ended up in England after the fall of the Republic in Spain,
Right.
and it's he. So, uh, yeah, like I think the problem is we Americans, we're 250 years old this year.
We're babies.
So there's a reason why on the tarot card, fortune is depicted as a wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So you go up the wheel, things are great. But guess what? When the wheel comes down,
Not so good.
yeah, you end up being crushed between the ground and the wheel.
Right.
Every empire has gone through this.
Right.
No one's the exception. No one's more loved than anyone else by the cosmos. It's a
Right.
law of nature.
Right.
And I think we think we're going to be the exception to this,
Mhm.
and think we're going to escape. This is why I don't think we believe as a nation. There are people who don't. I think overall, it's going to get me in trouble. I don't care. Why we don't believe in God.
Right.
We're nihilists.
Right.
Because if we did, like the ancients did, we'd be like, holy shit, I'm going to pay for this at some point. I might not pay for it. My kids will pay for it.
Right. Right.
Like, and
It's all about getting ahead and making money and all this shit,
Yeah, but that whole,
And for
people don't understand this either. The sins of the father will be visited upon the son.
Mm-hmm.
I take that and my interpretation of that to mean the behavior of the father teaches the son the same behavior, but eventually that behavior will be someone's undoing in that line.
Right.
Because you're still following the same shit. Yeah, it worked out for granddad. Oh, fuck, it's not working out for me. Now
Right.
everything, right? So we tend to think of everything very individual. We don't have a long-term way of looking at things. So I think that that screws us. And yeah, we're gonna have problems. So
Yeah.
yeah, cool comic though. I forgot about that. They had the whole thing where they made superheroes illegal.
Yeah. So I think that's like my first exposure to political comics. Like was that storyline, because before that, I mean, we had GI Joe, which is American propaganda and stuff, but it was almost like like making the military into like a heroic type of force, like depicting it. That's probably the first time they try to equate superheroes and terrorists to heroes and villains, right? In a comic book format, was that the reinterpretation of GI Joe with Larry Hama, which was originally supposed to be an idea for Shield and Hydra, but then Hasbro approached Marvel about doing this product
Toy
line,
line.
a toy line. So then they switched it up, I guess. you know, that God forbid you credit Kirby with anything, right?
Mhm.
So it's like they just took the concept of Shield and Hydra and came up with Cobra, and Hydra is a snake too, and then Cobra Commander, right? So and then Kirby had a hero for DC called Cobra as well. With it was a guy with a snake suit. So it's
Yeah, I
like,
remember that. It was in the Marvel universe. I
yeah,
used to have those.
yeah.
So a
So
friend
I
of
mean,
mine's cat destroyed it, but lent it to him.
and then there's this lesser known comic by Innovation, which is not even around anymore, called uh, let's see, let's put this over here in the forefront. Ooh, ooh.
Desert Storm.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can. One of these functions here.
Please tell me,
One of these.
Desert Storm.
Yeah. It
How
says,
old is that?
is it Storm Hussein? Send Hussein to hell. This is from the night.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the thing is that people are cool with the propaganda, but they're not really cool with thinking.
Yeah. So the book is dedicated to the soldiers that were lost during the thing. You know, then you get this yellow for the yellow ribbon, whatever. We support our troops in the Persian Gulf, right? So it's clearly a propaganda comic, but I got it because I thought it was fucking. I bought this many years ago. Um, but it's interesting, like they talk about it's kind of like these short stories about soldiers and different stories. You know, kind of like in that GI Joe vein, but Iraq overkill. But they never really discuss why
They were there.
there we were there.
Of
It's
course
kind of
not.
like
That's too political, man.
it's like
Can't talk about color, brown and root, and
yeah, it's
you know.
just kind of like hey, there's no we're not going to tell you why. And then there's Bullwinkle. This is very racist of Bullwinkle and Iraqi. He's like an Arab, you know. Hey Iraqi, watch me pull a Scud missile out of my hat. That's
That's messed up.
uh, you know, but you know, clearly we were, you know, Kuwait was stealing oil from Saddam Hussein, right? And he said stop, and he told the United States tell these guys to stop, and the
Was this the
Saudis
second or the first Desert
first
Storm?
one, the first one, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then they basically just
I
don't
mean,
listen, so he invades and to stop them from stealing his oil,
I mean,
and then he's the ultimate bad guy, right?
it was so common to talk about what happened that the
Right,
Prince song, Money Don't Matter Tonight,
right,
he talks about, what does it matter if we control all the oil and a child is dying in a cloud of gas?
right,
That's in reference to the Iraq War.
yeah,
Now, again, I think I think it's good to have the fantasy stuff that we can digest and just sort of like and
right,
taking my mind off everything. And then
yeah,
we need other things that help us interpret the world as we are. It's like if all you eat is fucking candy bars,
right,
right? Because it's a medium. It's like any other medium.
right,
This is the twilight medium between prose, cinema, and theater
right.
and animation. It's the twilight. So you should be able to write whatever you want to. But it seems now everybody wants to run back to, please let me go back to my childhood.
Right. Nobody wants to
And
deal with reality.
yeah, but you know what? Reality doesn't give a fuck about you.
It doesn't.
It doesn't give a shit
It's,
about
it's
you.
the cosmic
Me.
function, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be like, oh, okay. You're gonna ignore this shit?
I mean, we do live in a very fairy tale kind of world because we literally live in a world where Americans, and not just Americans, but many religious people believe that there's this guy in the sky just sitting around waiting to listen to all their fucking problems and solve them for them. It's like Santa Claus. I'm gonna write Santa a letter because I want this and that. I want a toy truck. I want this, and But
Well,
Santa Claus graduates to
what's
God. Like I want the new job. I want to make this money. Blah blah blah.
and what's wild about that to me, I grew up Catholic. I always viewed it as what you do here. This
Right.
goes back to ancient Egypt.
Right.
What you do here is what you'll be judged on.
Right.
So, in other words, if you're making everything a hellhole,
Yeah.
even in ancient Egypt, you die, you got the scales, and like, all right, so what the fuck did you do?
Right.
Oh, yeah, you did a lot of bad. Guess what? They didn't have hell. They had something worse. That
Right.
monster, they ate your fucking soul. You just
Right.
disappeared,
This.
right? Right. So it's interesting now that, God becomes a vending machine.
Right.
Hey, I need some more slacks. Okay, I'll send. Like, no, that's a weird concept.
Yeah.
So the idea is that if you think of it from a perspective, my perspective, I would say, we're here to help each other.
Yeah.
That's what proves, if you want to believe in a cosmic being, to the
Hmm.
cosmic being that, oh, all right, not saying the cosmic being is real or not, but I always took it as, well, this is why you get entry into Club Med
Right.
Afterlife, right?
Life.
Um, but yeah, it's something that's happened along the way that has flipped that.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that the before was better. No, it's not.
No, it's
But
not. But
it's
yeah. No, but I just find it funny because we have this pay to play mentality when it comes to God and religion. Like like God is like, and then it's like an ownership thing, especially in America. They're like, oh,
yeah,
well, these Christians are fake and these Christians aren't, and
yeah.
our religion's right, and everyone has. And it doesn't matter if you're Christian or Jewish or whatever. Every religious person that I've met feel like they have some kind of exclusive real estate in heaven that nobody else has a chance at getting because they're not following their specific
This is
doctrine.
part of the Abrahamic religions.
Yeah,
You know, the Abrahamic religions live in their head.
yeah,
Whereas if you look at some of the other older religions, they're like, no, this is just a natural function of how things happen. You
right,
die, you become the ancestors. Good or bad, you're still an ancestor. You're still
right,
there, part of it. But what's interesting is that, and during colonization, whichever Abrahamic religion did it, because something that I will hopefully be able to talk about, because right now there's this big thing with Spain, right?
yes,
And that little enclave, and people are saying Spain needs to decolonize to Morocco. What people don't understand is Morocco is not natural either.
right,
The expansion from Islam also brought a lot of colonization to North Africa.
hmm,
And as a matter of fact, I got two books here. This one right here, The Dawning of the Apocalypse by Gerald Horne,
yeah,
and Beyond Timbuktu, which both of them explain. Actually, this one I should tell you, it's by, what's his name here? They don't have his name. Oh, yeah. Osame Umar Kane.
mm,
He's actually a Senegalese Muslim scholar. And they both cover, Gerald Horne does a little bit, but Professor Kane covers more into detail how Morocco led to supporting the English. And, well, Gerald Horne points that out, the English and the transatlantic slave trade.
hmm,
The Arab expansion into Africa was itself colonization. So when you
right,
have people saying, oh, blah, blah, blah about Spain, I'm like, well, if
right,
we unravel this shit, there's
right,
going to be no Morocco. There might be bits and parts of Algeria. Tunisia might get gone. Sudan, they're doing it right now too. And who's supporting most of Israel? Hey, Morocco's supporting Israel.
right. And look at that land, that whole island fiasco, the 50,000 people pouring in. That's
Well,
that's
it
technically
wasn't an
a
island.
colony of Spain, right? That's a separate.
It's an enclave. It was
Enclave.
60,000.
Yeah,
And before I get to that point, there's one point I was getting to. I'll get to.
yeah,
Each of the Abrahamic religions destroyed the idea of ancestral worship.
right. Yep, that's true.
And when you destroy that, whether it's Islam, Judaism, or Christianity, then you've destroyed that person's individual connection to their family, their community. They did it in Europe, they did it in Africa, and they did it in the Middle East.
Yeah,
And those, if you can't know who you are,
right. You don't
the
know where you're
fuck you
gonna
know
go.
you're gonna go, where you're going.
Exactly.
So those religions, I have my issues with the three, are
Hmm.
colonizing forces. Now, that doesn't mean because you worship, I look at you're a colonizer. No, but there's history that the Catholics have done,
Hmm.
Protestants, and Muslims, and right
Hmm.
now Judaism.
Yeah.
So there's something in the thinking of what you were saying. I am special. My way of worshiping is the way to go. Everybody else is garbage.
Right.
There's a problem with that.
Right.
And now you're talking about Ceuta. Ceuta in Spain is an enclave. Uh, the Portuguese took it in 1415. Mind you, at the time, Portugal and Spain were fighting the Moors.
Right.
So the Moors briefly, they had it. Again, the Moors were not normally from there. Before it was Carthage. Before that, it was the Vandals. All sorts of people have had it.
Hmm.
Today, you have four different religions that live in that city.
Right.
And here's where people are mistaken this because a lot of people on the anti colonial, and my heart is there, I am anti colonial, but you also have to understand the history and understand several different things, especially
Right.
what happened. It was actually 70,000 people pouring into Ceuta,
Hmm.
didn't pour in to occupy the land from Morocco.
Right.
This is where people are getting it wrong.
Right.
Whether it belongs to Morocco, that's inconsequential. They poured in because they were given information through social media posts and other things
Hmm.
that Spain was going to let them in so they can get work.
Yeah, because nobody had bags. Nobody had
Nobody
suitcases.
had bags.
That's
They
I,
get there and then they find out it was all bullshit.
right.
And here's the thing that's why they turned around in 24 hours.
Right.
So it wasn't that they were going there, this is our land,
Right.
like many people are thinking. And
Right.
sadly, sometimes some of us on the left don't read the history, don't pay attention, and don't aren't critical thinkers either, just as much as on the right. It
Mm-hmm.
happens a lot.
Right.
And the question is then,
Hey, they were just going there to work.
yeah, they're like, dude, I want to go to Spain because they were hoping to get into Spain. Now, here's the ridiculous part. Italy closed off the Schengen zone, and I don't know if you know what the Schengen zone is.
No.
Okay, it allows free
Right.
passage of Europeans throughout all of Europe.
Right.
So Italy, that does not share a border with Spain,
Mm-hmm.
closed the Schengen zone with Spain, which means that if Spaniards travel to Italy, they have to show their passports and all the other shit. The crazy part is, Ceuta is in Africa. There was no way 60,000 people were going to suddenly swim over like 8 miles or 8 kilometers or whatever it was to
Right.
Spain and then make it to Italy. One.
Right.
Two, in terms of migrant traffic in the Mediterranean, which is a very tragic and horrible thing,
Mm-hmm.
um, Italy gets double. It gets like 450,000. Spain never said, hey, we're closing down the Schengen zone on Italy. 22 of the 27 countries in the EU who are all right wing signed a letter against Spain saying it has to get its act together with migration.
Mm-hmm.
Now, right now on social media, Spaniards are pissed because Spain has been there for Ukraine. Spain has been there for Finland. Spain has been there even fighting for Italy when Italy was getting its ass slapped by Trump. Sanchez came out and defended her. And then Greenland and Denmark. So Spaniards are saying, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why, when it comes down to this, you're giving us shit. You're not turning to talk to the king of Morocco and saying, just for example, how bad is your economy that 70,000 people want to cross over into Europe?
Right.
And mind you, Morocco's not liked by West Africa or most of Africa. They also have issues with Algeria.
Mm-hmm.
Spain was just signing a deal for a gas pipeline with Algeria, which just happens to be Morocco's rival. Other issue. So sometimes, yes, I get it. I feel your heart. Yes, we have to decolonize, but we also have to be very smart about this because shit,
Right.
our good sentiments can be used against us. We have to sit down
Absolutely.
and fucking think. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
us don't do this. We react. Oh, well, it doesn't belong to Spain. Well, if we're gonna go doing this, we unravel shit. Where do we stop?
Right.
You know, you know, do the locals want to be part of Spain?
Right.
Yeah, they do. So, it's a little tiny little city anyway. That area is also very critical for NATO
Mm-hmm.
because if you control that little city, you control passage in from the Atlantic into the Mediterranean.
Right.
This is another thing that's missing in this whole equation. Again, strategy. One of the things that just fries me about the left is there is no understanding of strategy. No one rolls up the fucking map, looks and goes, why is this?
Right.
The other aspect, Morocco is a colonizer. The West Sahara, the
Mm-hmm.
Amazigh people are being suppressed and have been suppressed pretty much going back to the 7th century by
Mm-hmm.
the Arab minority.
Mm-hmm.
No one talks about this. They get a huge pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned, the transatlantic slave trade too. Motherfuckers had something to do with that too. The destruction of the Songhai Empire was because of Morocco,
Mm-hmm.
basically along with fucking England.
Right.
That there's a lot of things here where you're like, yeah, I don't think Morocco's all, yeah, and that's why a lot of Africans were
There are no
laughing.
good guys when it comes to history, basically, right?
Well, there are some groups. I mean, like West Africa got fucked. I can't see them as a villain
Right.
in this. The North Africans expanded. West Africans were just minding their own fucking business.
Right.
You're minding your own business, and someone comes and you defend. That's different. This is not the case. And the other thing is, Morocco is signatory to the Abraham Accords.
Mm.
Massey, Representative Massey, just tweeted out yesterday how 2 weeks ago the Republicans decided and some bill that they passed, to recognize Ceuta and Melilla as being part of Morocco. Which begs the question, who are you to give away land?
Right.
And it's not like,
Taiwan, China thing. And go. It's like,
dude, you open that up. California, Arizona,
right.
Texas,
Right.
Florida, Hawaii, Guam, Puerto Rico. Someday when we're not that strong, someone will do that to us. They'll say, well, we're just going to give this shit away from us. This is where we don't really understand what goes around comes around, because we're a young country. But when it comes around, we all have to remember this moment that we facilitated a lot of shit. Because when you get kicked in the teeth, because you've been kicking other people's teeth, you should say, well, it was my fucking turn. This is the thing. So there's a lot to unpack on that. And but it's revealed to everyone who the right is. Because in Europe, the 22 countries that signed this letter against Spain were all far right, all anti-immigration.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them pretty much in bed with Israel. And I've always seen the right as traitors, always wrap themselves up in the flag. And they're the biggest, Spanish, they have vende patrias, which means you sell your country. Always, always. This is why I don't really entertain them. I don't take them seriously for this. So anyway, as you can see, I'm very passionate about it right now. So I wanted to
it's important for our audiences to understand what the other side of what's happening on this thing, because Americans unfortunately treat politics like a baseball game.
Yeah.
Or like
yeah. And the thing is, Trump. Okay, there are a lot of people who believe that the elite have a plan. Yes, they do.
It's not for the benefit of us.
Well, it's not the benefit to them either, because they're speed running it. They're speed running it while having cocaine and having ADHD. Because you're messing with Iran, you're messing with Spain. Oh, and by the way, Trump, right after the whole thing came out about Spain, basically released another tweet talking about taking Greenland.
Yeah, geez Louise.
And Spaniards are like, fucking eat it. You guys deal with it. Why don't you secure your borders?
Mm-hmm.
So it's caused a strain here in the EU. Fortunately, the only one that didn't sign that were there were 5 countries, 2 of which I know. 1, Portugal. So Portugal proved itself to be its brother's keeper.
Right.
And 3, France. And the reason that France wouldn't have signed on to this is quite simple. Because as much as Spain has a few little enclaves in North Africa,
Right.
if you see the real map of France, and I'm not talking the metropole, which is you see the standard one just right above Spain, they have Madagascar, they have parts in Indonesia. Like France has 12 time zones.
12.
12.
Holy crap.
Because it has the over in Tahiti, it has the
Yeah,
Caribbean, like
territories. Yeah.
Martinique.
Yeah.
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 So the French aren't going to go on that one because they're really like, the fuck, I'm losing that shit. But the
Right.
U.S. opened this,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
the U.S. will get smaller.
to the
I might
credit
not
of
be
Trump,
alive.
he's kind of exposed. I would say if there's one good thing to say about Trump is that he exposed the amount of corruption and hypocrisy that exists within
hmm
this world.
hmm
And said he's going to drain the swamp, but he is part of that swamp.
He's a swamp creature.
Right. He's the swamp thing, and he
Yeah.
benefits from it as well. It's like,
And and,
you
and
know,
here's the thing: there is no Democrat on earth that's going to fix this. I tell you this right now.
because they're all in on it.
I've been seeing more Spaniards saying, "Fuck it, we'll trade with China."
Right.
Fuck
Yeah.
it, we'll train with China. And I'm sitting there laughing my asses off. The more that they've done to try to clamp down, and you know this as a teacher, if you walk into a room of hostile, kids or kids who are freaking out and acting up, and you try to clamp down hard,
Yeah. It doesn't
most people think, oh, they'll get in line. The fuck they will.
Nope.
They'll
See,
get worse.
it'll get worse. Yeah, I noticed that too. I noticed that as a teacher, like this is, I've been teaching for almost 30 years. It's crazy, but I've always noticed that the minute you take, like call a parent, and they want you to call parents all the time, but
Yeah.
the minute you call a parent and supersede negotiating powers between you and the kid to like try to like work things out, making them accountable for their behavior, and this is high school, not elementary school, but the minute you call their parent, it's like all bets are off. They're like, well, I'm not going to deal with you now because you just dealt with my parent. Now, you might get them back in line. That does work sometimes, but I would say 90% of the time, you'll get them back in line. You'll get them to do what you need them to do, but they don't trust you.
No.
And they're not going to open up to you or share with you. Same thing like if you snitch on them, they open up to you and you snitch on them, turn around and snitch to another adult and get them in trouble.
Yep.
It's the same thing, and our politics are the same way. It's like the minute that the United States says with Iran, okay, we're going to end this war and sign a deal, Israel's like, well, I don't trust you now, and I'm going to just keep misbehaving. And it's almost like America is technically the parent of Israel, even though they act the opposite. Israel thinks they're the parent of the United States.
Yeah. But,
Israel starts misbehaving and saying,
Mhm.
well, I'm going to bomb. I'm going to just fuck things up. I'm going to destroy this classroom. I'm going to fuck up everyone's classroom. I'm going to cause hell around this entire school. I run this school. It's that.
and then the school turns against them.
Right. And his school
And they're being dragged out
out.
back to get the fucking beatings with the chains and the bats.
Right.
And they're like, hey, man, help me. I can't do nothing. I lost my legs thanks to you.
Right.
Because the U.S. military said it can't defend Israel.
Yeah.
It can't defend it. So it's
and
like,
shouldn't, because they're starting all these wars. Let them fight their own wars.
yeah. Well, and the thing is,
and I say that as an anti-war person, not an anti-Israel person. I gotta clarify.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I'm anti-war, not anti-Israel, but
it's old school, right? Like, I had my older brother. He was 10 years older than me. My late brother, and there came a time where he said, "Look, man, you're too old for me to be out there for him. I must have been about 8 or 9 or something, right? You're gonna have to defend yourself, you know."
Yeah.
Unless someone like much older comes in, and that's a different story. It's just like basic. You're gonna start shit. Well, you're gonna get shit.
My brother did the same thing. He was my older brother. He was 2 years older, and he used to just open his mouth and get into trouble, get into fights. And after a while, I was just like, I'm not gonna help him. But I mean, he said some crazy stuff. You know, he was drunk. It was when we were kids. You know, and literally 30 people almost beat the living bejesus out, almost murdered him on the street.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, and I'm there protecting him like a schmuck, and I just told him the next
Well, it's
day.
your brother, right? So
Yeah.
I get it.
Like he literally upset an entire block of people by screaming expletives like "fuck you," blah, blah, blah. But then and then jumping on cars, and I should. This is before the internet, so I shouldn't talk too much about it. You won't.
It's not recorded anyway.
It's not
There's no
recorded.
source material.
But I mean, he was just a drunk teenager saying stupid shit at a party that we weren't invited to, right? It's like, and then many times I found myself like, why am I defending this guy? I got finally I got a black eye for the guy. Like I got punched for something. Got hit by some person I didn't even know at a party for something that he said.
Oh man.
And I was like, fuck this. I'm done.
Yeah.
My parents hated me because of that. They're like, "Oh, you're supposed to protect your brother." Like,
yeah, I was
he's
too young
loyal.
to protect my brother. He protected himself. and
Right.
he
You
did
said
that
it was
very
that
well.
way.
But we ran by a certain logic that our dad drilled into us, because my dad's from East St. Louis. Anyone who knows about East St. Louis, it's a fucking rough place.
Yeah.
But the logic was simple. Don't start nothing. There won't be nothing.
Right.
Right? And this applies to nations too.
Right.
This isn't this is just basic childhood
Right. Street
schoolyard
code.
shit, right? But apparently a lot of people in the Upper West Side, or people who don't like to get in actual boxing matches,
Right.
who are
Big
middle
fights.
class, who go to other places to take people's homes,
Right.
haven't understood that lesson. You don't start shit. Now you start, I see. You're used to your middle class where you can run to your daddy who's a lawyer and has money. But
Right.
guess what? When lawyers and money aren't there and you're dealing with missiles and shit, that isn't the same thing. And that has nothing to do. You could be fucking Martian. And
Yeah.
that's just the fucking truth. And it's a hard truth. And it's because I think combat sports are a good thing for kids to go through at least 2 or 3 years out of their lives.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I don't know if you know this rapper, Akala.
No.
Akala's fantastic. He's a British rapper. He's a black rap. Awesome. I love him. And once he tweeted out, he had me fucking stitches. He says that,
I'm gonna look him up.
oh, he's awesome. Akala, man, he knows his fucking history.
The AKLA.
AKALA. Yeah,
I got
Akala. He said there's a lot of revolutionaries out there in colleges who've never been punched in the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just like, he's right. So you want to be the next Che Guevara, but you've not invested in being like boxing and doing all the shit that you
Yeah.
want to do.
Makes sense.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, then go all in. Or if not, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. That's
Right.
and this generation of internet trolls that people just like to start fights. It's just like it's
Oh yeah. It's like
when you're actually ready to knock them out, they're like, what's going on? They think it's normal to
like that. There's that video. It's now a GIF of the Nazi. He's a white dude. He's got a leather jacket and he's got the Nazi insignia, and he's talking some smack to this massive brother, right? And the guy he's like, no, and then he pops him and he just goes boom. It's like, these are basic things. We shouldn't be violent. I get it. No. But once you step beyond certain means, I hate to say it, but that violence will pop up. This isn't suburbia. Suburbia is protected, I hate to sound like Jack Nicholson, by some really nasty men that do nasty things to other people. And we should never get to that point. But this idea that somehow we can be civil, and that's why we turn away from the incivilities. We want to live in the fantasy of civility, as opposed to putting our violence in check of our nations.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we live in this world that people want to start shit, and then when things don't go their way, then they'll want to get the cops involved. It's like,
oh, dude, like,
like
when we first started doing this, and we were talking about Charlie Kirk,
right?
And You know, I don't. It was horrible what happened to him. I disagree with his politics and everything else. But
But he had a mouth.
yeah, I mean, this is.
And the more that's coming out, it seems like the person that they're accusing of didn't even do it.
Oh, he didn't do it. No,
It
but
was basically our own government, that basically took him out.
I mean,
Apparently,
the
he
way
was
Trump
groomed
talked
to be
about him.
president. He was being groomed to be the next president down the road, like maybe after 2030. Like him and Erica Kirk said that, and he basically, from what I understand, he basically says, his biggest supporter was, is not real, and he turned against them, and they basically turned against them. I
Oh,
mean, once he and Erica Kirk were getting divorced, all bets were off. He basically was sabotaging the plan, and now
well,
who's in charge of Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk.
and he didn't understand.
He didn't understand.
This is what a lot. Even Candace doesn't even understand.
No,
This is.
I think they do. I think they pretend that they don't.
I don't know. I think they target some really dumb people. I think Candace can be smart, but I think she's not street smart.
No, she's a
'Cause-
substitute kid.
And I know people make, well, there's no such thing. No, there is. If a motherfucker's giving you millions of dollars, that bastard's gonna want you to jump, squeal, lie, cheat, do whatever you can for that money. That money isn't given to you because you're pretty, you're nice, you're talented. It's because they're buying you.
Right, and they're paying for an agenda, and if
Yeah.
you don't follow that script, then it's like the mob. Our government's run like the mafia.
Mhm. Yep.
People give you a loan, and you have to pay with interest. And if you don't pay that loan with interest, and if you don't stick to the script of what they're telling you to do, then you're taken out.
Yep.
And if you try to take them out publicly, like Charlie Kirk was publicly embarrassing his sponsors, not just kids and bullying teenagers. He was basically challenging the hand that feeds him,
Yep.
and he got taken out for it.
Yeah, and that's
Good,
Let's put it
bad,
this
the
way, when
worst.
you
It's
look at
awful. People die every day, but it's just like good
But-
people die every day. And
but
Charlie,
let's
Kirk
put it
was
this way.
he was,
JFK had a sense they were going to try to off him.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King fucking knew. He said, I might not make it to the mountaintop with you. He knew.
he knew.
Malcolm X knew. If you open up your mouth, this is where white people don't understand.
Yeah.
If you open up your mouth and you say certain things against the system, be ready to get punished.
Mhm.
This is just it. So this is something like weird about Christianity, the Christianity coming out of America. Why is this? Christianity was born from martyrdom. You didn't hear the Christians going, "Oh my God, they fed little Lucas to the lions."
Mhm.
They're like, "Yeah, those fucking Romans, they fed him to the lions." But he's a martyr, but the Romans did this. Somehow, this mamby-pamby
Right.
evangelical Christianity, because it's mamby-pamby. Oh, I'm going to get the money. I'm going to get a nice couch. I'm going to get this, going to get that. For supposedly a being who supposedly creates all of this. Now, as artists, we sit down to try to replicate the things that we see around us.
Yep.
They're just scribbles. It isn't the real deal,
Mhm.
right? Like living, talking human beings.
Mhm.
And then you think, if something, and I'm saying big if, taken from their perspective, creates all of this, what the fuck does he need money for? What the
Right.
fuck's wrong with you people?
Right.
It doesn't need money. You know,
Right.
it could just as much as erase us and then create something new.
Mhm.
It doesn't need any of this shit. Like, even in their religion, it's very limited, the imagination that they have and thinking through. And this even goes for the atheists talking about this. Well, if God allows all the suffering, what the fuck are you talking about? This something is eternal. Do you know how cruel that thing would be? Because it couldn't relate to something that is limited, that
Right.
expires.
Right.
So they're
I was trying to relate to the ant.
yeah, exactly. It's like, and especially if you've got a heaven. Oh
You're
yeah,
like,
all those kids you were talking about, they're just right over here.
Right.
It's so there is a lack of imagination on the anti-religion and pro-religion side. to
Mhm.
not think of things through.
Mhm.
But both the atheist and both the Christian and the Muslim and the Jewish and whoever, even if they say they don't believe, they believe separate things, they believe in something that all of us do. There's one unifying thing:
Right.
money.
Right.
Money is fucking belief.
It is.
It literally is belief. All
Mhm.
of this is just because we agree that
It's an
these
agreement.
fucking little money tickets mean something.
Just like the fucking cryptocurrency, same thing.
Belief. Belief.
Yeah. And what's funny is that they're telling you don't believe in this, but then they're all making money on it.
Oh, yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
it's a money laundering system
Exactly.
that's like a back door, and they just made the back door public, and they want you to invest in this back door. And somehow they're like, well, this back door is going to eventually be the main thing if you keep pouring money into it.
Yeah.
And your shit just keeps disappearing, like these meme coins and all this stuff, this Trump coin shit, right? Melania coin. It's like
It,
people
it
pour money
puts,
into it and then they go broke. They're like, oh, this thing is worthless. It's like, well, who said that this was worth anything? It's a back door.
yeah, and it's
It's a
like the
back door from
SpaceX
your
thing.
pocket to mine, right? You can't.
Take the SpaceX. Everybody thought, oh my God, this is going to be the biggest fucking company, the greatest IPO,
Mhm.
right? So everybody pours all this fucking money in. The actual people who already took the money when it was high left,
Yep.
and now it's sinking. All because you believe some guy who has a fish face, Elon Musk, a formaldehyde fish boy,
Yeah.
is
We're funding them. That's their little trust fund. We're funding
yeah,
their trust fund by investing in them.
yeah. And
You
we
know.
keep believing these people are geniuses. Dude has said some the dumbest shit ever. That if a black person or a brown person even said a quarter of what they said, they would have been challenged right from the get-go.
Oh yeah,
You know?
sure. I find funny thing about the stock market, is that it is like the rich man's lottery, right? And I mean, you can make money off of it. People do, but again, it's this backdoor thing that's made public, and the only people that really benefit from it are the people in the club. You
Yeah.
know. Meanwhile, people are pouring money into it. Like my dad lost like 80 fucking $1,000, buying shares of this and that, and he was guaranteed. And then the guy basically takes off and like flies to, is not real for like a decade. We don't get the money back. And then when I moved up here, I found the guy's number, called this company in Manhattan. They're like, oh no, this company is no longer functioning. I was like, what do you mean? You just answered the phone. I said, you're listed on the Better Business Bureau. Oh no, no, no. That company folded. We just inherited their number. Really? Well, I just asked you for this person. You said they're not there. So you're aware that this person exists, right?
Oh, the
Yeah. It's like,
and here's the thing.
you know. Now, if this was like 30 years ago, I'd be rolling up in there and like demanding this money one way or another. I'm going to get it, but
Yeah,
I'm not the same person I was.
right.
I was
Well,
just like, this is not my fight and let it go.
to add to your point, add another layer to your point. There used to be a time when the stock market was you put money into that went to real companies.
Right.
It didn't have high frequency trading. I don't know if you know about high frequency trading or not, but
Mm.
basically it's these algos that super speed shit.
Yeah.
So by the time you go to buy the actual, if you're a trader, you go to buy the actual stock to
Right.
when you actually purchase it, it's already gone like through a whole bunch of different
Yeah, because
computers.
servers
It,
run them. Yeah, it's a gold
yeah,
servers. These servers are running the trades. There's no way. It's not like back in the day where people are writing down on chalkboards and
yeah,
fucking.
but the money went to actual real companies to
Yeah.
make real fucking things.
Right.
Like the only product we have that we produce now is money.
Yeah.
It's fucking math. We're
That's
just
it.
basically jerking ourselves off with math.
Right.
Oh, look how rich I am. So even the very rich aren't really that rich.
No, they're dependent on those. If we said, okay, you no longer have access to our tax dollars, they're middle class at best.
Well,
It's
we would
like,
have to take it one step further.
and take away their credit, right? It's like,
Take away their access to
mm-hmm,
the printing machine.
yeah,
They don't need our tax dollars. They
mm-hmm,
got the fucking printing machine from the Fed.
mm-hmm,
And if we cut that off,
mm-hmm,
that then makes it fucking hard for them to live the way they do.
mm-hmm.
Because if I remember, there was, and it's now really hard to find these articles, but they were talking about how the Fed was giving money out to rich people with next to zero
Yep,
interest on it. So they're
yep,
literally giving them money.
right. And then
And that's not
we pay
tax
more
dollars.
interest on houses and all this other shit than the rich do. You know, it's like they're building mansions. This was like uh, a white trash neighborhood back in the '90s that my dad invested in. Now it's like people making 200K plus that live out
Yeah.
here. They don't like us here, right? It's like,
Yeah,
it's like,
but
and
you know,
they're building these mansions over there. I mean, their taxes are like $2,000. I looked it up because there was one of these mansions were for sale, and it's going for like, oh, I think 1.4 million or something like that, or something like ridiculous price. It's a slightly bigger house than this one, but their taxes, because they have to divulge how much tax you pay if you buy this house. It's like $2,500. I'm like, what do you mean? I live in a house a quarter the size, and I pay like $18,000.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was two people living in a 9-bedroom house. With multiple rooms. It's like,
And that the housing
30,
would
40
crash.
rooms or something in total. 30, 40 rooms, 3 floors. Two people live there, and they're paying $2,000.
And,
2,000.
and the whole idea of value because your house just sits there.
Yeah.
It goes up. Even the stock market is fucking hilarious because you start out one in the morning, it's like, orange juice is like, oh, it's 3 cents. By the end of the day, it's 60 cents.
Right.
That doesn't change the fact that you haven't increased the production of orange juice.
Right.
It's just because some guy thinks, oh, we will get more orange juice or we will get less orange juice. That's all it is.
Right.
It's
perception.
It's perception. We're jerking ourselves off for perception.
Mhm.
We live in the abstract.
Yeah,
You know.
they do. I mean, the fact that we pay taxes, right, out of our check, almost 50% in America goes to taxes, but they still charge you to go to work. So you got to pay tolls, you got to pay gas. It's like you're being billed. And if you park on the wrong side of the street on the wrong day, you're getting a ticket. So it's almost like you're still being taxed, even though you paid your taxes.
Well, and hold on a second. That's in the public sector. Now take the private sector. You have your money in the bank.
Mhm.
They charge you a fee to have that money. They
Mhm.
charge you a fee for every time you use that money.
That's
They
good.
charge a fee for when you scratch your nose the wrong way, when you
Right.
pee the wrong way. They
Right.
all have all these fees. We call them fees, but those are actually private taxes.
Right. Exactly.
And we don't make the leap and understand that yeah, they're doing this. You hope that at least that money goes somewhere. But in the private sector, we know where the money's going to. When
Right.
some fat cat sits there and says, yes, I just bought myself another yacht
Right.
with
And
all these fees, those
with
little
multiple planes
fuckers.
and all this, yeah, they should burn them down.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing it themselves because they can't even sell their yachts. So you see, there was I think it was like 2 summers ago or 3 summers ago, they had all these yacht fires because they realized this thing is, the minute they bought it, it's not worth anything. And it was a great expense to upkeep. So they burn them down and collect the insurance money.
Yeah. Like for me, a home is a place you live in.
Right.
It's not a place like, I'm fixing up my home little by little as I can. But it's
Right.
not a place I'm looking to like, oh, how much value I'm putting into this.
Right.
Maybe at some point, if I ever had to sell it, yeah, okay, maybe now I have to start thinking about that.
Mhm.
But too many of us have looked at our homes as a means of cash cow, as opposed to a place that I fucking live in,
Right.
right? And we need more people to live in homes to be secure.
Right.
Hey, it's to keep the rain off my head. It's to keep the snow from hitting me. We look at things very funny. It's almost like if you took the 1990s way of how comic books were being viewed,
Right.
no one even fucking read them. I'm
Right.
kind of guilty of doing that sometimes. There's some comics I never read. I just bought the number one.
Right, exactly.
And it was all speculation.
Right.
And
Complete.
and I have to say, I did buy a whole bunch of Daredevils, and I'm very happy that when the Daredevil movie came out with Ben Affleck, I
Right.
sold a shitload of those for $50 each.
There you go. You got
But
right time, because now those Daredevils Frank Millers aren't really worth anything unless you
they're
get
not worth anything, right? It was just because of the hype of the movie.
right. Exactly.
But there's tons of number ones that I'm like, yeah, why did I buy this shit? You know, and our whole economy runs that way.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't run like
Fairy
it's a
tale.
comic book. I want to read it. If it's worth something down the road, great.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, great. It's still something I enjoyed. Maybe once I'm gone, maybe one of my grandkids or something will flip through it and go, "Hey, this is kind of neat." That's fine.
Yeah. And they're all rotting. I actually was trying to sell the first Hulk and Abomination battle. And me being a dumbass, like usually what they do is they take pictures, they open up the book, show you the condition. You can't do that anymore with those books. Like literally, I took it out the plastic bag and the cover separated. It was perfect mint condition, but the minute I took it, it hit the air,
Oh
it
wow.
disintegrated. Like
Yeah.
because it's been sitting in a bag for since 1968.
Yeah,
It's
you probably have to take them out every so often, I
right. It's
think.
like papyrus. It's like literally like
Yeah.
just fell apart. It's like
Yeah. Yeah, because
no,
those, especially for 1968, those comics were not meant to.
to
It's not
last.
like the 1990 ones where you had high gloss and they
Right.
put a lot into it.
Yeah.
Uh,
And those
but
even are falling off the staple now easily. Like
yeah, because we should have gone to perfect binding long time ago.
a long time
It
ago.
should have been like fucking paperbacks.
Yeah, and then talk about paperbacks. Paperbacks from 2000s. I was taking pictures of paperbacks, and then pages just started falling out. Now
Yeah.
I know how to re-glue a bind because I used to work at a printing shop. But it's just like, damn, what a pain in the ass! Like the Punisher. Remember the Punisher the first
Oh,
miniseries? It's like a red
yeah, the Marvel.
going to jail. I literally opened it up and the cover perfectly just slid off the. And I was like, oh, I could fix this. I'll just glue the edge with some Elmer's glue and then put it in a press, like S clamp it or C
Yep,
clamp,
yep.
and then it'll be back to new. But it just literally came off the glue binding. The glue is rotting because it's 26 years.
Well, and Marvel doesn't. Marvel. I've noticed this with the Marvel paperbacks. They did it as cheaply as possible.
Yeah, cheaply as possible. Yeah,
Yeah, because some of the pages are even yellowing on
yeah,
pages that shouldn't yellow.
that shouldn't yellow. Yeah,
Yeah.
even the glossy stuff is like yellowing and stuff.
Yeah, and stuff that I have glossy stuff
Mhm.
that's old. It yellows a little bit because everything yellows eventually, right? But you're like, this is like 10 years old,
Right. They're taking
you know?
oxygen. They're taking like their glossy paper now for comics is crap. Like I literally held the book and my hand, the temperature of my hand already damaged the ink and damaged the
Is
and
that a Marvel or DC comic?
was a that was a DC, but they're both guilty of it. And then literally while you're reading it, it falls off the staples. So the paper is so thin and lightweight that it just falls off. Same thing with the king size Jim Lee books. I was buying those because the scale of it was cool, like this 11 by 17. But it's like literally like I got to the center page and the first like just taking it off the shelf to look at it. It's floppy, it's flimsy. They didn't make it hard. When they do the retro books, at least they make them with a thicker cardstock.
Yeah.
At least 100-pound cardstock.
Yeah, Image was really good about their stock.
They were. Image was high quality. And then this thing was literally just, and this is a book that I just bought like a few months ago. Every copy I picked up, the center fell out off the staples. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This saddle stitch piece of shit.
Well, it comes down to capitalism. You're not going to create the best quality
Mm-hmm.
product. You're going to build the cheapest
Right.
to make it look like it's good quality
Right.
and then basically run away with it. And that's happening to all of our stuff.
Right.
I know a lot of people want to talk about, well, are we Rome? No, we're not. Rome built shit to last.
Right.
It wasn't capitalist. I'm not a fan of Rome.
Right.
There were fuckheads too. But we don't build things to last.
Right.
And now we're not educating people on how to build things to fix those things that don't last.
No, we just tell people, oh, aliens built that. It's impossible for a human to build that. No, it's not. It's just you're not smart enough. The people 8,000 years ago were smarter than our society today.
Yeah, well, they kept a certain knowledge. They thought things through. They applied mathematics. I was
Mhm.
just having a discussion with my son today. We were talking about how in school they never teach applied math.
Right.
Like for myself in high school physics,
Mhm.
learning vectors.
Right.
They said, yeah, you could use this for flying. That's
Right.
where it stops. Then you just have to learn the math. And it's like,
Right.
wouldn't it be easier to teach me a flight pattern using a
Right.
vector? It would stick more because I can apply that than
Right.
the abstract,
Exactly.
you know?
But yeah, it's just like applied knowledge. How do you apply this to your daily life? That's,
Yeah.
you know,
And sometimes some things that the ancients did were so fucking simple.
right.
We're just stupid because
Yeah.
we think everything has to have wires or, well, at one point we thought everything had to have gears.
Yeah.
But I was watching a video
I mean,
on China and how they cool off
right.
their cities, and you might have seen the videos where they have like these sprays from the top of the buildings. It's like a mist, so they have it all across. Um, it doesn't wet you, but there are other things that are really very interesting, very simple too. Any city can apply it. The asphalt,
Hmm.
which absorbs most of the heat because it's black. They
Hmm.
put a coating on top of it to reflect as much sun as possible. And they said that thing cools like 2 to 4 degrees, just that alone. Rooftops, most of the rooftops are black,
Yep. Taria.
tar. So they again put a coating that ends up lowering the heat within buildings by X amount.
Hmm.
So just little shit.
Yep.
But everything is so like,
And then there was a time where they were painting that tar silver to reflect back, you know?
yeah,
You don't see that anymore, but that was a thing. Like,
that,
or they
you know,
painted white. They paint the tar white after they tar it down to reflect the heat, you know?
yeah. And then you have, and I agree with the whole climate change thing. We are fucking the environment. But here's the thing, the fires in Spain and even here in France. Yes, it's the weather conditions, but the biggest culprit is austerity.
Hmm.
They cut all sorts of services. The firefighters here in France have been arguing and fighting with the government to get more resources to basically fight fires better and to prevent fires in forested areas. In Spain, well, the conservatives there, and it's the conservatives, took the money that should have gone for the firefighting, dumped it into fucking bullfighting, like I told you last last week.
Right.
Um, a lot of the equipment, people were being told don't use this certain equipment on the
Hmm.
land because it can cause a fire. People were still doing that shit. Then on top of it, in the Franco era, because there was a lot of desertification. I fucked that up. Sorry. At that he planted a lot of pine trees, which grow fast,
Hmm.
but he also planted a lot of eucalyptus trees.
Hmm.
Eucalyptus trees have a lot of oil and they burn easy, and they're hard to put out to oil fires. So,
Hmm.
yes, is it the climate? Yes. But there is a whole bunch of other reasons why those fires are there and didn't get prevented on both sides of the border. But instead, we panic. So you end up with the climate denier and the climate doomer being one and the same because everyone just then freezes. No one goes, well, what can we do to ease this shit down and to control this? No.
Hmm. No.
It's like anybody. If you panic, you freeze.
Right.
And we're seeing this. Everyone freezes. Uh,
Exactly. Very true.
it's it's
And
it's
some
it's
people just don't know, like they're a frog on a frying pan and don't know that fucking shit's going. It's like
well,
we have a lot of frogs on frying pans right now in this country, you know?
yeah, and it's
Um,
it's the U.S., it's Spain, it's everybody's got a lot of
right.
frogs.
Like I
But
had
figure it out.
someone was like saying, "Oh, Venezuela was a communist country, and now they can't even feed their own people." Just saying, look at the. And I was like, "Well, that's because we invaded, took their oil, took their gold, and took their silver." Do you know how many people attacked me like within less than an hour? They bullshit, you're delusional, blah blah blah.
No, we did.
It's like, uh,
Yeah.
read the fucking news. So I had to like literally go to. I even chose the Hill because these are red state people. That's
Yeah.
their. I even there. I went to their news. It's like, well, this is from the Hill. This is which is basically a Fox News light. It's like it's in the
BBC reported that
yeah.
they took their gold.
Yeah, just put like
I mean,
fucking like different. I usually listen to like Al Jazeera or like Roya or like fucking Middle East Eye or I gave up on CNN. Or like NPR News or like Democracy Now. Those are my alternative news sources. But the regular news sources talk about this. It's just people just don't pay attention. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look it up in other people's stuff. And sent it to them. Oh, fucking crickets! Like they were like, people were like piling on, like making comments about my statement. And then the minute I put that article by the Hill, and then I was
then they
like,
got quiet.
just Google it. Even Google, like Google AI is smarter than you. Like Google talks about like how we stole their gold and shit, and there.
This is
It's
this is part of the reason why I was laughing in Argentina talking about the Falkland Islands.
yeah,
Because 60% of their gold, or 80, was sent over pretty much to London.
yeah,
You're not going to go to war with someone who has your nuts in their hand,
no,
right? Unless, of course, you just want to sing falsetto for the rest of your life. And by all means, go
Yeah.
ahead, because he's going to squeeze.
Right.
But people, I think many of us, and I'd say us because we all have our blind spots too and things, right?
Mhm.
I include myself in this. We like to be, we want to see the world as we wish it was,
Right, not what it is.
what it is.
That was my analogy for Man of Steel. It's like Christopher Reeve is the America we want to be, but Henry Cavill's Superman is the America that we are. And the one that we deserve because this
Well,
is
what's interesting, my comic, which is now called Past Due, which anyone wants to, you can read some of it on over at Seven Robots Webtoons, Ghost Metal.
nice.
My idea was I have my original American icon, who's like my Superman,
Hmm.
who's a working class man, worked on the docks, even though he's super powerful.
Right,
It's this construction worker,
right,
really kind guy.
right,
He ends up retiring from being a superhero.
right.
Then once he leaves, it ends up being taken over by one corporation who trademarks his name.
Hmm.
And then you have the new guy who is the new American icon, who's an asshole.
Right.
Former singer, super powerful, rapist, you name it. And it's to juxtapose the two Americas. That's where I got and that's why I read the original Superman
You
comics.
should do like a reading for us. That sounds like, that would be great.
Yeah.
You could
Well,
do like a reading. You could read your comic.
yeah. I'm trying to figure out how I would do that, but yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where it came from. It was the two idea, even the idea of having to pay for superheroes.
Yeah.
We're the most mercenary-like culture.
We are.
We
And we're
will
proud
not.
of it, except we don't
Yeah.
like it when it happens to us.
Yeah. It's like, well, what's in it for me?
Right.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, our entire society has become that way. I mean, this cover encapsulates America. This is America.
Well, it has been.
1986. This was America. Greed is good. Heroism is dead. The business suit man, is the guy that's, he's evil. He's proud. He has this avarice. Like, yes, it's like that says it all.
Yeah, and it has a long-standing history.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Like it ties back to religion.
right.
So right now we got the current mamby-pamby evangelical version. But
Right.
long ago it was Calvinism.
Right.
The idea of who's predestined to heaven.
Right.
Well, if you're rich, God favors you.
Yeah.
So it's like the precursor to what we would eventually have with evangelicalism.
Yeah. It's a genetic lottery. You're just born rich or you're born poor.
Yeah,
I think it's funny. Like as I go through these covers, man. I mean, look at this. You got Mount Rushmore, which is a myth, and you have these
yeah,
superheroes.
that's on the Lakota
Right. It's like,
Black Hill Mountains.
and then these people are also myths. So you got the past
Yeah,
myths and the modern myths,
I like the Superman one better.
and then you got the villains on the bottom. So it's like,
Right.
and then this guy with his fist up is like a villain. So it's like the evil. Like this is our mythology, and this demonic character is like victorious.
And I would love to see what Lakota people think of that, because
Oh yeah, man.
that was the most sacred mountain of
Sacred
theirs.
Mountain, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, did you know the Bronx River was an actual I grew up with it was a polluted swamp river. Like, oh, it was a swamp. The Bronx was a swamp. The Bronx River was a sacred Indian river where they washed and bathed, kind of like the Ganges River.
Yeah.
And what did the Dutch do? They built the railroad right next to it and dumped all their shit into it, poisoning the natives.
Oh, of course.
You know, an 8.5 mile stretch of sacred river poisoned intentionally to kill off the Indians, dumping their shit. You know, this
You
is
know,
also
the Dutch don't get as much hate as they really should.
right, right.
Everyone always, you know,
They give
Spain
them a
does something
pass.
that's shitty. I'll dump on them. I'll
Yeah,
dump on some of their history, and that goes for Portugal too.
yeah,
But the Dutch, the English, and the French really skate past
yeah,
a lot of the responsibility for the shit that they've done in this world, and particularly the Dutch. The
yeah.
Dutch are the reason that we have corporations as they are, because they were the first ones that allowed people to start funding voyages and the
Right, the
slave
Southeast
trade,
Indian Company, right?
the
Right.
stocks. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're the fuckers who started this shit.
yeah.
So they don't get as much of the hate that should also be directed to them too.
It's like tea, molasses, right? They traded the molasses for rum, right? Rum, alcohol was a big factor in that.
Yeah, and rum was just the leftover from the shit of sugar,
Right, exactly.
right?
Sugar cane, all this shit. And then the cotton thing. So America gets hit with the cotton thing because that was the last, but sugar is still fucking huge. They put sugar in fucking everything. That's why we have diabetes, right? I mean, they put sugar in everything.
Well,
They
and
put
the
sugar
U.S. made its money off of cotton
cotton,
and
yeah,
tobacco.
tobacco, big one. And those are still major factors today.
Yep.
I mean, the tobacco companies have all these chemicals, and when we started hammering down on them, they just put the chemicals in the food. The same, like I was just watching this video. They're talking about how Starbucks, which is a baby company, but they take all these chemicals that go into like detergents and cars, like like fucking antifreeze.
I
And
think the board should have to sit and drink those chemicals raw.
yeah,
You're gonna put it in, you
right,
get to drink it.
yeah, exactly.
You know.
This is another one. You got like the Shazam god, right? He represents the gods, his name. And then you have these empty pajamas of superheroes. There's a
I
lot
remember
of
that
like
cover.
it's pretty cool, right? I mean,
Mhm.
it's
That was
kind of
memorable. I remember that one because I thought, wow, what happened to the Flash?
yeah, it's like making fun of you thought he was the Flash. It's like it's making fun of but this is very real.
No, meaning like the empty suit, right?
Oh, the empty suit. Oh yeah.
Yeah, what happened to the Flash? As a kid, I
Oh
used to
yeah,
look
he's,
at it.
yes, right, the Green Lantern. And then you're like, why is the Green Lantern's costume like that? Why is it a turtleneck? Like it's like this is when Guy Gardner got his makeover with his little bowl cut. So
Oh, they gave him that monk look.
yeah, because before that he didn't have a bowl cut. He was just a white dude.
I would
And
never
then
trust anyone with that haircut.
the last issue, not even the Beatles, not even it's like the last cover is like, oh, the hero survived the prevail. So it's almost like they're telling you your world is fiction in the beginning, right? It's like, no, you could live in your fantasy fairy tale, right? It's just like it's like
And granted, we all need some escape. We all need a vacation
Yeah,
from this shit from time to time.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
But I
You
think we
know,
take it too far.
getting a suntan out here. Look
Yeah, I know. It's like
at that. Literally,
I
quite
see the
literally.
thumbs up.
We got a little fucking. tan.
Do we have any comments?
Not as yet. We had 3 people, and I said, if you didn't read this book, go
They
fucking.
ran.
They ran. I ran. You ran. We all ran. I do have a video clip, and then
Oh,
we're
yes,
gonna.
good. Oh,
Um,
there's. I'm gonna try to find this clip. I gotta send it to you because it is fucking brutal. But anyway, show the clip.
yeah, there was So again, American media. I get criticized for this. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna probably get Charlie Kirk myself.
No, did you take any money?
No, I didn't take any
Then
money.
they can't do that, Ray.
Yeah.
You got to take the money. You got to be worthy of being president. I mean, if they're coming down to our level, they're really fucking desperate. That's all I could say.
Right. I mean, like we're like the lowest common denominator here, right? We're like
We're just some dudes on the fucking YouTube. Like,
this is like a conference call once a week. Like
pretty much, right?
it's a public conference call.
Yeah, pretty much. It's yeah. If you start going after smaller people, it means you're desperate.
Yeah.
You know, which they might be. They might be, but that would be pretty pathetic.
There's a lot of people have said. I wouldn't say a lot of people. Some people have comments about these videos, saying that I like to post anti-Israel stuff, and I had to always clarify. It's like I'm not attacking Israel. I'm attacking the
Israel's attacking Israel.
Israel's attacking Israel. Israel's attacking everyone else.
No, but it's attacking its own image.
Yeah, it is.
It's just like the fucking Argentinians telling me,
right? We're not racist.
You're making us seem like racists. No, motherfuckers, you are acting like racists.
Right.
But continue. Sorry.
No, but it's just like so. And I said, we're anti-war. We're not anti-Israel. We're not anti-Jewish. We're anti-war. And I think I'm going to keep emphasizing that as we forward each episode. And, I'm not a demonstrator myself. I've been to demonstrations. I demonstrated many years during before the second Iraq War. The Iraq War in Afghanistan. The second Iraq War is now. But it's like, but I soon realized that this is not for me because I don't feel like getting beat up or sprayed by cops. And I don't want to go to jail because at the time I was working in jail and I knew how horrible it was. So it's not like I was afraid. I knew the realities of prison because I worked in one. I wouldn't want to live there. So it's like, so I play this clip, the West Bank demonstrators, God bless them for standing up for them. Anyone who does this is braver than I am.
I agree.
So, I mean, I don't have the compunction to do this,
Just different ways. We're doing this.
Yeah, we're doing this. We're old.
We're doing this.
We're old. We're doing this. Tom Siaka was supposed to join us, but he's not here. So we'll
I sent you the video.
These guys are acting like,
and this is in Israel.
This is happening.
All right, I think it's looping.
They want to stop, these settlements from occurring, because it's bringing them greater danger, which is a no-brainer.
Well, from what I've been seeing from Haaretz and other places, there is a risk that Israel might end up in a civil war.
Yes.
And this is not being talked about in the American press. So if it was to happen, if suddenly this happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
How would the U.S. spin it? Because you'd have to explain, well, they're a divided society.
Right.
And this is some serious shit. They've got an election coming up in October, by the way.
Right.
And
Netanyahu's not on the ticket. They don't want him.
they don't want him, but he might just pull some shit to stay there.
He's
Because
pulling a Trump that he's not one of the candidates, but like Trump didn't run, and neither did Biden. There was no ticket for these guys. They didn't debate anyone, and then yet they both won. And that's
right.
I'm a Democrat, but I thought that was totally wrong. Like, wait a minute, Biden doesn't want to debate anybody, and then he just wanted to debate Trump. It's almost like a boxer says, "No, I'm not going to fight any of these low class guys. I just want the heavyweight," and they allowed it. It's like, what the fuck? It's like,
it's interesting. I think his name was Floyd Patterson. He's the guy that fought. He was a heavyweight champion before Sonny Liston.
Right.
And he was actually a nice guy. He wasn't as tough as Sonny.
Yeah.
And he avoided fighting him.
Yeah.
For a long time until he went to meet Kennedy.
Yeah.
And Kennedy, they meet in front of the press, says, "Oh, when are you going to fight Sonny Liston?"
Right.
And he was like, kind of put in a position where he's like, all right, well, yeah, I'll fight him.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, people do that. I mean, and then he got laid out. I think it was like twice or something by Sonny Liston. Sonny was not the man to mess with. And then, of course, we all know about Muhammad Ali laying out Sonny Liston.
Right.
But,
was that X, that video?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I have it here, but I don't know if I can play it. Let me see if I can.
Well, there's a picture there, though.
Because he wants me to log in, and I deleted my account.
Okay, if you can't, there's a picture I can send to you.
Yeah.
Can't send you the video, but I could send you the picture, and it is brutal.
Yeah, I got rid of my X account. As much as I loved my X account, I deleted it because I was just like, I can't support this guy. I don't want to, and plus I had stock in Twitter, and then he basically
cheated you out of it.
Yeah, he basically took it off the platform. He's like, "Where's my money?"
Yeah, little cheat, little
It's
fucking
like,
cheat.
Yeah, like what is that? Like, how do you?
You don't get to be a billionaire because he's no longer a trillionaire, by the way.
Yeah.
You don't get to be a trillionaire without cheating people.
Yeah.
There's no way of getting around that. Well, with maybe the exception of Michael Jackson, because he sold a fucking boatload of albums and, but he worked his ass off for that shit, and he lost his life for that shit too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I just sent it to you. This picture. And this picture says a whole lot.
You sent it on Facebook?
Yeah. This picture says a whole lot. This is what happened to the people returning back to the border from Ceuta, from Spain, back to Morocco.
Right.
And that picture, and I'm waiting to see it to be fully confirmed, but it looks like it was a Moroccan border guard. And he actually hit the young man in the head with the rock.
Fucking A.
Yeah. So here's a question for all the people who are out there. Well, we got to decolonize Spain. All right. How do you then justify this shit? This is what these people are running away from. They're not running away, make Ceuta, Melilla, whatever you pronounce it, Moroccan. They're running to Spain for a better life.
Right. Because we basically destroyed their ability to have a life for themselves.
Well, the problem is the monarchy there. It's a monarchy that's been in bed with the United States and is now Israel too. Has basically the guy spends most of his time here in Paris drunk.
Right.
He hangs out over in Le Marais, which is one of the Jewish neighborhoods here, which he can do whatever he wants to. But drinking in Islam is not usually,
it's accepted. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not that great. The other thing that has to be kept in mind is they've pissed off all of their neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
You need to trade with neighbors. Like the Africa Cup, Senegal beat them fair and square in the Africa Cup.
Right.
But because there's something that happened after they won, they stripped Senegal of the Africa Cup and they gave it to Morocco.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. And there's videos of I Show Speed in Morocco having a lot of anti-black stuff pushed to him. So again, I put it to those
Oh,
people.
did I send you that video about the doll, the Argentinian with the jersey washing?
Oh, I sent it to you. I think you sent it. Yeah, you sent it to
Send
me.
it back to me.
That was
Crazy.
that was. How can you? It was mimicking. It. Okay, I'll get to it in a second. What I wanted to say, yes, Spain did colonize Morocco for a time. That is true. France did colonize Morocco for a time. True.
Right.
I think even England did for a time too. Yes.
Right.
But they've also been colonizers. End of story. The video, that video, do you have it?
Yeah, it should be here somewhere.
That's disturbing. And that's supposed to be spoofing. I don't know if you know this, but years ago, when Lamine Yamal was a kid, his mother was at a UNICEF or UN event.
Right.
And they met Messi. And there's a photographer there that were taking photographs of different footballers with different people who have escaped different places.
Right.
And his mom had escaped from Equatorial Guinea to Spain through the desert, by the way. And so they took a picture of Messi with the baby Lamine Yamal. And that video is supposed to be a spoof of Messi with Lamine, but it's not even, I can't even say it's in poor taste. It's despicable.
Yeah.
You know, it's downright despicable. You got it?
Let me see. Yeah, I just got with myself. We are live here in the Bronx.
We're live.
We're live.
We're live.
Wrong video.
Yeah, anyways.
I'm clicking on this. I'm like,
To describe for people, in case you can't find it, it's an Argentinian in an Argentinian jersey with a black doll in a bathtub, and he's pretending to drown the black baby.
Yes.
Slap it and punch it. And
was that on Instagram or was that on? I get confused constantly. It's not on my Facebook feed. I didn't send it to you there, so it must be.
Yeah, no. I think I might have sent it to you on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Instagram.
Yeah. So, again, when they say we're not
Instagram found it.
We're not racist.
Yeah, this shit is disturbing.
You know.
Yeah. All right, I found it. Let me share it. And then
I had an exchange with an Argentinian who was saying, "Well, you know, the Brazilians are like this." And I'm like, "And so what? What? They're not supposed to be like that either."
Right. There we go. Let's get the volume.
Knows. I think it was on his Twitter account or Instagram account of this he was doing a reaction and burning the Argentinian flag because of this video of this Argentinian man looking like he's beating some black doll, just as a representation of how much they hate blackness. They hate black people so much. And this is a real life psychological disorder. Like this is not just, I don't like somebody because of their color. This is a psychopathic disorder. Like this is a real mental illness. Yeah. Because if you really think about it, how many black people actually live in Argentina? Mm-hmm. Probably not very many, which means that this man has had little to no interactions with black people at all. So whatever hatred he has been purely passed down from one generation to the next. It has nothing to do with an everyday interaction that he's had, which would have created a hatred towards blacks. Maybe, you know, had he lived around black people and been tortured by black people his whole life, then maybe I could see why maybe he may have a disdain for blacks. But this is a person who more than likely has had no interactions with black people, but yet has this level of disdain for them. This is a real life psychopath. This is how serial killers joke around, right? So I actually wouldn't be surprised if somebody like this has bodies buried in their backyard or something. So
Yeah, and then we had this one with yeah, that was disturbing. And then we have the
Yeah, that was just, yeah. I remember I seeing that, and I was
it
just like,
reminds me of like these movies about slavery and stuff and how they abused and
black
murdered
people.
black people.
This is one of my big issues with
You know?
the whole talk about field slave versus
Yeah,
house slave.
yeah.
I know where Malcolm was getting with that
Hmm.
from the black community perspective, but from the outside, a lot of people make a mistake of thinking, "Oh, you're in the house; it was better." No, it was fucking worse. You'd be better off in the field
Yeah,
because
because
the
you
amount of
rape
psychological
that stuff.
abuse
Yeah,
and rape and shit like that happening to black kids because the kids who are mixed,
yeah.
the white wives
Right,
would off the children. So
right. And it was like a cycle of hate. They were making another class to rule over another class, like the light
yeah,
skinned blacks were to rule over the darker skinned blacks. The same thing
yep,
in Australia was done, where they did the same thing, where they took the Aboriginals' children, put them in these schools,
like in Canada.
and then mixed with them, raised them. You know, like so, and it was all from rape. You know,
Yep,
you know.
yep. Oh yeah, yeah.
And in
This is
Canada, with the 500 dead kids in the buried in the backyard of that school.
like I had an exchange with someone online talking about how the Spanish versus the English system, how there was the mestiche, right? The mixing. And I've had this exchange many times with Latinos, and Latinos are hard-headed about this. So
Right,
like, well, black Americans are not as mixed as we are.
right,
Yeah, we are. The
right,
difference is the English were hypocritical and hid it and kept a binary caste system,
right.
whereas the Spanish, who couldn't keep a secret to save their fucking lives, is they're so freaking like, how would I say, they're so um, outward with everything that they do. They really are. You know, the English are a lot more sneaky and sort of like hide their bullshit.
Right.
But if you dig, you'll see the last Confederate general to step down was a Cherokee man. He owned a plantation with slaves, and he
Mm-hmm.
was part white
Mm-hmm.
because they were mixing with the indigenous
Right.
on purpose. They just then decided we
Conquer.
don't want all these different classes as like the Spanish have.
Right.
So they started to homogenize the Europeans coming into white, which is what they did. The mestiche actually happened to the Europeans,
Right.
and it happened to us too, but they wanted a binary because they didn't want the Caribbean or the Spanish model.
Yeah, they call them the Creoles. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And then eventually they're like, fuck that Creole. Well, it's interesting because Creoles were the Europeans born abroad,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
And then the Spanish, the caste system, criollos, right? It's
Yeah.
the conversion. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
sometimes
My Colombian side of the family were considered Creoles. You know,
Creoles,
because they were born in Colombia.
but they were from Spain.
Yeah. Some of them were from Spain. Some of them were. Like Philip Livingston, our ancestor. Yeah,
English.
he lived in English. He lived in New York on Duke
Yeah,
Street.
yeah.
But they were living Philip Livingston II.
Wow.
They was considered Creoles because they were in Colombia. So
They were.
he had slave wives in New York and a slave wife with children
Yeah,
and a slave wife in Colombia.
that
So
was common. Like people don't understand how common it was, and it wasn't just the English or the Spanish or French thing.
yeah,
The English did it.
yeah. Well, they were Scottish. They were Scottish, I guess, because Peterson was SEN, not SON. So
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
like a lot of intermarriages from Livingston to Peterson, and then you had the O'Neills, which were the Irish.
and
So yeah,
that's something the Irish don't like to talk about.
yeah, a lot of the Irish were slave owners too, and slave masters. A lot of that
Yeah.
stuff. You know,
They don't like talking about that shit. And it's like,
yeah.
no harm, no foul. Just come out, be honest about it. Because you know what? Most likely,
Hmm.
you might be talking to someone who's actually related to you, who's black.
Exactly.
That's the crazy thing. Like, But I found it a lot with Latinos bringing that stuff up. We're actually more. I'm like, hey, dude.
Yeah.
And here's the
There's no
thing.
pure breed. Doesn't make
No.
sense. That's an
And
illusion.
one, it's an illusion. Two, there's two sides to it. It's not really understood because it's not talked about. In Africa, and I know this well from Africans because I've talked to them. If you're from, like, say, Bantu, and your wife is Fulani,
Hmm.
and you get married, your kids are considered mixed.
Hmm.
Africa has the broadest genetic variation on the planet, bar none. That's just the fucking fact. So if you get to African Americans, you got the black, some indigenous, and then a whole bunch of these other different West African peoples that have been forced to mix together. Of course, we're mixed. We're almost pretty much the same as the Latino side.
Right.
That's why you get people who are pale with green eyes.
Yeah.
You know,
And a lot of Black Americans don't look anything like Africans at all because they're
at all,
mixed with a lot of white people.
because we're mixed people.
Yeah.
We're
And
mixed
Native
people.
Indians too. There's a lot. I mean, you could tell from their cheekbones. Like I had a student once, and I was like, "Was your grandmother like Native Indian, Native American?" And he was like shocked. He was like, "How do you know?" You know, he was like, "She's part Cherokee." I was like, "Your cheekbones gave you away."
Yeah,
I
yeah,
said,
yeah.
your skull, your skeleton, the structure of your skeleton head. You have like a
Mhm.
little Asian, you have an Asian look to you and a Native Indian look to you, and it's just like
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is.
the beauty of being an artist. We could literally like, people
Yeah,
like,
you can see it.
yeah, like
It's just
people
so.
tell me like, oh, you all Asians look alike. It's like, nope,
Oh
Koreans,
God, no.
Chinese,
God,
and Japanese, their bone structure and their face is completely different. You know,
and
and you
what
might have
what
Koreans that look Japanese, but that's because they mixed as well.
actually, a friend of mine who's Japanese was telling me that a lot of uh, when Japanese people, their kids start dating, if they're richer,
Right,
they will actually pay for a detective to find out if they have any Korean.
right,
Which to me was always like just like the fucking craziest thing ever.
right.
But then you think, they have their own sort of issues. Just like in West Africa, not everyone gets along because
Right.
they're West
No,
African.
no, the Nigerians, the Kenyans,
Nigerians drive everybody crazy.
right? They're like, it's hilarious. I find it very interesting because the Americans, we talk about racism, but it's racism is, I would say it's a learned behavior for sure, but it's also something that's inherent. Division is inherent in our DNA code to divide ourselves from others or to,
I think that's a cop out. I'll tell you
maybe it
why.
is, but maybe
I'll
it
tell
is.
you why that's a cop out.
But I
Because,
see that in every culture has their own form of racism. But it is a
well, I would
learned
say that's
behavior,
xenophobia.
you know.
I think there's three
Xeno-
things that get confused. There's xenophobia, ethnocentrism, colorism, and
Mhm.
racism.
Yeah,
And I think when it comes to racism, Europe owns that one. They
right.
created that shit.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
But there are many tribes. I mean, tribes used to purposefully marry out
Hmm.
because they knew they didn't want kids with like six heads.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
and
some tribes are so inbred. You see it in their
well,
behavior, like the Trumps and all these rich people, these European,
well, yeah, well, that's Europe.
you know.
That they have that weird idea of purity.
Yeah.
But even going back, they've been finding archaeological traces of people who started their lives in one place because they could tell from your bones
Yeah.
and ended up leaving. And there was a point in time where people would go and join other tribes.
Right.
And even today, like the Sand people, the Bush people, and other tribes usually work together.
Hmm.
And if you look at the Mongolians, the
Hmm.
Mongolians weren't one tribe. They were a whole bunch of different tribes.
Right.
It was Genghis Khan who just said, "Why the fuck are we fighting with each other? Let's fight those guys." Right. So I think we have to kind of start saying hardwired is very dangerous because our brain is plastic.
Right.
It's very easy to here's the scary thing. We can actually condition ourselves to do shit.
Hmm.
And I think that scares us. I think the idea that it's just inherent makes it very easy for us to sort of just keep going.
Right. Well, I say it because throughout our entire history, there's some sentiment of it. Regardless of.
Yeah, it usually comes down to when you look at the Mongolian tribes, it came down to
Mm-hmm,
wanting shit.
mm-hmm,
I think in the West we have so much of the religion that muddies that history. But
mm-hmm.
when I read about the Mongolians, I laughed my ass off. He's like, why are we doing this shit? These fuckers over here got more shit. So he unites all these different tribes, and they weren't even called Mongolians, by the way.
Right.
It was Genghis Khan who said, "Your name now will be Mongolians.
Mm-hmm,
I will give you a language," and he ordered to have a language created for them.
mm-hmm.
So, and these are different tribes. I mean, this is a guy whose wife regularly got kidnapped.
And you're talking about Mordor, like how Mordor was inspired by that, right? Like the whole thing, the orcs and all that.
Part of that, and the other part of it's also looking at the Moors.
Yeah.
That's very problematic. I have my own issues with the expansion of the Abrahamic religions, but the other point, they're people too.
Right.
So yeah, I say a lot of times it comes down to the things that make us what they would say tribal, and I
Right.
think tribal is a very problematic term because the British created it to sort of
Right.
justify what they did in England.
Right. Like,
But I think a lot of it
the tribal.
is a few people who are really good at manipulating, knowing how to mobilize a whole bunch of people for their own ends.
Mhm.
Because once people sit down and start meeting other people as you travel, and if you travel, you start to realize this people are actually really nice. And I think that's what Bourdain showed.
Right.
If we were what the elites tell us we are, we wouldn't travel places and meet nice people. They'd all hate each other.
Right. And I think that's part of the point. I mean, I started thinking the other day about Islamophobia and where did it come from? And that we were like really conditioned from childhood through our entertainment. So one of the earliest things I could think of is not just Lawrence of Arabia, that's before my time, but that's definitely one of them. Um, but in our generation, I would say Back to the Future.
The Libyan terrorists.
Right.
What the fuck?
Right. Secret Lies with Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee
Yeah.
Curtis.
Rambo 4, 5.
Or yeah, all these movies were basic. Our education stemmed from movies teaching us how to hate other people and saying these are the other, objectifying them, while simultaneously saying feel sorry, have sympathy for the European Jew and have sympathy for the black. So we're gaining empathy for the wrongs of our own history. But when we're doing the exact same thing, and to the Native Indian, especially in the 90s, all these movies of the Native Indians, like trying to humanize Native Indians and rectify the wrongs that were done. A good moment in history, but simultaneously doing exactly the same thing to the Islamic people with all these movies. And,
I think this is from my perspective.
yeah,
Of course, always from my perspective. There's no other perspective I could have.
yeah.
I think it goes deeper than the movies. It goes back to the Crusades.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. I was just talking about in our generation,
In our generation, but it kind of seeps in little weird little things
Yeah.
that you see. But then on top of it,
Mm-hmm.
there's a need for, and I'm going to say this about white people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel this way about Muslims or anything, even though, I'll point out they were involved in the leading up to it would be the transatlantic slave trade.
Right.
There's a need for white Americans to always have someone they hate, someone that they could push their hate to.
Right.
I think that defines them. Because
Right.
whiteness is born from defining yourself as different from X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So it's not acceptable to hate black people because, that looks terrible. And if I can't hate Native Americans and that looks terrible. Oh,
Right.
well, yeah, Jewish, that would just be all just totally awful.
Right.
But these people out in the Middle East, now I can give my hate. It's just like when I would meet people who loved black people, hated Asian people, loved Asian people, hated black people.
Right.
It's like, what are you doing hating anyone?
Right.
Right? You take people as they come, right?
Right.
So I think, and you see with people like Bill Maher, they have to direct. They can't let go of their hate.
Mm-hmm.
Their hate is what defines them as a person.
Yeah, I had to stop watching him because I was like, this guy is just wrong. I treat him like I think he's just as toxic as the young guy who was Charlie Kirk's shadow,
Rival
his rival, and then
Nick Fuentes.
not no, Nick Fuentes, yeah, him too, but the other guy, Ben Shapiro, yeah.
Ben Shapiro.
Oh, and Tom's with us now, so
Hey, yeah, I heard Tom. Hey, Tom, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
Bill Maher was on
Yeah.
Friday, and he was going on at his ending speech, all about the democratic socialists, about communists. He was going all on with Mandani. I just couldn't believe it.
oh, he's going after Mandani too.
He was going there. He was going under a whole.
This hatred towards Mandani is ridiculous. He's the mayor.
The whole communist. It was like, I was watching it. I just couldn't believe it. Like, what?
Yeah, we're gonna have a Jewish civil war in this country too, not just in Israel.
Oh,
It's a generational thing. The younger generation versus the older generation.
well, you know, Bibi's now complaining that the hatred for Israel is due to AI slop.
AI slap.
Yeah, he. I'm like, dude, he live streamed a genocide for 2 fucking years, my man.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Bill Maher.
It's funny that they use that term because I hear that they're saying that the term goy slop, which I learned from teenagers.
Oh yeah, that gets the one I can't. We didn't
Yeah.
say good slop.
It's like that term is a thing that teenagers use, and it's as a joke. But when you think about what do they actually mean, it's almost like they're saying these foods aren't good for you because of the chemicals are in the food are bad. Like there's no nutrition in the food. I was like, I get it, but why do they call it goy? Well, why? Who calls us goys? Where does that term come from? Right? It's like, so
Oh
goy
yeah.
means animal, right? So it's like
Means cattle.
So it's basically, it's almost like the N word. People are like, well, they call us goys, so now we're gonna just make fun of it and commodify it and say, well, that's goy slop, and they're like, hey, you can't say that. That's our word. That's our word for you. So,
Oh well, it got colonized.
but it's like, right, it got colonized. So it's like, so that's like the N word being only for like a certain people, and then it got commodified where all the young people, the Gen Xers, not Gen Xers, that's after us, so the millennials started saying in the 90s, white kids calling each other the N word, and now it's like goy slop is the new N word.
I hadn't heard that one.
Yeah, no, you ever heard? I think it's
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, they get mad. They got so mad that on TikTok, apparently, I think goy slop is one of the ones that you can get banned for.
Yeah. It's
And the little emojis for juice boxes.
right, juice boxes, yes,
Yeah,
and
that got
watermelons.
banned too. What's that?
And watermelons.
And
So
watermelons.
So look
yeah.
at this. It's like the watermelon was always a racist connotation against black people
But it's
in
because
this
the
country.
Palestinians.
Because of the Palestinians, and now it's a political symbol. So this is something that they adore. They love talking about watermelon and how much all these black people and Hispanic people love watermelon. But the fucking minute they take watermelon and turn it into like a
A
political resistance. Oh,
Yeah.
the watermelon's bad. Don't use the watermelon. You're anti-Semitic if you use the
I
watermelon.
hadn't heard that one either. The
Yeah,
watermelon.
no, the watermelon.
Oh yeah, watermelon. Especially if it's a triangular
Yeah,
watermelon.
yes,
Because it looks like the triangle in the Palestinian flag.
yes.
Which is it's
So the watermelon is, oh, you can't. So I find it funny how we're taking these racist tropes as different societies and different cultures, and we're using it. I don't think the N word empowers anybody, but it to a certain degree, when it was first being used by the millennials, it was almost like commodifying it that it could apply to anybody, which
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy, but Ralph Bakshi talked about that in the 70s in the movie Heavy Traffic, when he had the black homeless guy saying, "You're an N-word," and this is an even
Yeah,
though
I
he's an
remember that.
N-word,
What was he-
But he was talking about like how the N-word describes anybody. I think he was ahead of his time with that movie because he was saying that, well, if you're not a person of wealth or influence or rich, then you are an N-word.
Yeah,
So,
it becomes like a class thing.
It's classes.
Which technically race is class anyway.
Right.
I mean that's
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They changed it to Heavy Traffic.
Yeah.
There was another one that he had.
That was Street Fight. They changed it to Street Fight. Yeah.
There's
that's another good one. The one that was called Coonskin that they changed to Street Fight.
Yes.
That was also
it's on YouTube.
That's where Miss America shoots the guy, right?
Right.
I love that one. It's crazy.
Yeah. He's like always following her, and she just mistreats him.
Yeah, and Bear Rabbit.
He has all the
Bear
great
Bear and Bear Fox
musicians in that film.
Yeah, and what was his name? Philip Michael Thomas was in that, right? And Barry White.
Right. Yes.
And
that's right.
Scatman Crothers.
Right.
So the song he opens up with, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, he was ahead of his time, Ralph.
Yeah. Well, the 70s had.
Yeah.
There was a sort of. It's interesting because you go from the 60s, you get the whole civil rights thing. Then the 70s, there's sort of like this depression.
Yeah.
About civil rights.
Yeah. And then you have the Black Power movement influence.
Yeah, there's a free fall.
Yeah.
Right into the Reagan years.
Yeah. I mean, you got what's his name? Sweet baby.
Melvin Van Peebles.
Melvin Van Peebles.
Sweetback's badass song.
Yeah, which is fucking crazy movie. If you remember the opening to that movie, there's a sex scene with a child and a grown woman. And they really had sex. Mario Van Peebles talked about this. He filmed his own son having sex with a grown ass woman. And his son was like 10. That was the opening for that film. So
it was Melvin Van Peebles?
It was Melvin Van Peebles.
Yeah.
He put his own son. So it was like a porn with a child. It was child pornography. He put his own son to have sex with his woman, but that was seen as something that was machismo or like something of rite of passage. But it's like.
But they don't show any insertion.
No, but it was. But he did screw her. It's not acting. They really did it. Mario Van Peebles says that he really did it.
Wow.
That was the first time he had sex was on camera, and his father filmed it. So it talks about
Well, his father had lived in France for a long time, so
yeah, but still, it's like that's.
Even then, I mean,
exploitation film, and the reason why he did it was financial. He did it so he didn't have to hire union workers, because if you filmed porn back then, you didn't have to have unionized workers or union contracts. It was like guerrilla filmmaking, but it just showed you like
could have filmed himself,
right? He could have filmed himself.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be the point, right?
So that's a disturbing film. And then if you think about the South Bronx Heroes, it's the same thing too. Mario Van Peebles' film, his first movie was about child abduction and child molestation. So he's speaking about his own experience abstractly, and that was his first movie, South Bronx Heroes, right?
Yeah.
So you could see that he addresses this.
Melvin was from the Bronx?
No, but that was his first movie.
Okay.
South Bronx Heroes, right? Yeah.
Interesting. As you're wearing the Bronx Heroes T-shirt,
right.
Tom.
Well, if you put Bronx Heroes in, like, we get South Bronx Heroes.
Yeah.
So like,
which was a happy accident. It wasn't intentional. No relation.
Interesting.
So the Bronx Heroes came out about 5 guys. We were trying to come up with a Bronx label, Bronx title comic book company, and I was going to call it BX Comics. And they were like, no. It's going to be Bronx this, Bronx that. And then this guy, Mike, that used to live with me, he was like, oh, why don't you call it the Bronx Heroes? And it just hit.
Awesome.
It was basically a conversation. It was a brainstorm. So I never take claim or credit for the name because I didn't come
good
up.
for you.
I own it. but it but it was but it was but it was but it was a brainstorm, and I never deny that its origin. It was five minds getting together and trying to put it together, and we had variations. And I used the BX 2.0 and BX comics, and those were all still published and used, those variations. Like Gary and Ed used the Bronx Age of comics. But I
So,
just felt like that was like Marvel Age to me. But that's what they went with, so they still use that.
so are you looking to get back into doing the shows like you used to, like the Bronx Heroes type shows? Because those were great, man.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was at a show yesterday where it was fucking hot as hell. I won't criticize it. The Bronx Anime Expo.
Hot as hell, like in Trump hot, or
No,
like
like
no
they
air conditioning?
rent a church basement, and every year it's a little warm because bodies. But yesterday they should have canceled the show, and it's the church's fault. I blame the St. Helena's Church. I'm going to talk shit about them because the people that run the show are really hard workers, are good people. They really care about the community. They've been running the show for 6 years, and then the church basically made no mention to them at all that their ACs were no longer working, and they knew this event was going to happen, and they made no effort to fix or repair their ACs. So it was felt like 100 degrees in the damn convention. So people were fucking walking in and out, and I lost money because I didn't make a lot of sales because I couldn't concentrate. It was hard to breathe.
The Catholic Church
Yeah.
in New York has plenty of dough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They paid out $1 billion for sexual harassment, so they can't
Yeah.
pay a couple of grand to fix ACs. Come on.
It's just like
Hey.
people paid for the show. It wasn't a free show like Bronx
Hey.
Heroes.
It's
But what
in a
was-
basement. You're supposed to feel like you're in hell.
Right. Yes.
All the part of the Catholic suffering. Come on.
Hades.
Catholic
You're in
suffering, yeah.
Hades, right?
Yeah.
Hades
It was
town.
and it was a sub basement, so it was like a gym 2 levels down. So
Oh God.
So you're literally going down 2 rings of hell, 2 circles of hell in Dante's Inferno.
You got the Catholic experience, man.
Yeah, for real. And then, but the good thing was I met a lot of people that I hadn't seen in a while that used to come to Bronx Hero Show. Like one kid was 25 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember him when he was 6, and he used to come to my show. And then he went to the White Plains show when we started the White Plains show with that not-for-profit organization in White Plains, when I used to consult with them and I helped them put that show together for the
Mhm.
first 2 years. So it was, and then he puts his mom on the phone, and he was like, "Oh, I had a video chat with one of my old customers," and I was like, and it felt like family. I thought it was great, It's like,
Mhm.
and there's so many different people that I bumped into that I knew, like their kids are graduating high school or finishing high school, and these were like little kids at my show 13 years ago. So that was like, I would love to do a Bronx Hero show, but it just takes a lot of effort, Like,
I can imagine.
And money.
I mean, I used to pay a part-time secretary like $18 an hour to run it for me. She was really the brains behind it.
Wow.
And the two of us worked every day after work. That's what I did for like all those years, because when Gary and I we put the stuff together, honestly, it was kind of like we everyone had their role. I'll say it like that. I don't want to talk shit about the past, but but I mean, everyone had their role. We all had our thing, right? But I took a lot of the burden, and I didn't mind because for me it was about the community, and it was a free event. It was not a money making scheme. So the grant writing and stuff like that, and doing the meetings and all the logistics, I took care of the logistics. Ed was in charge of getting the audience and the students and getting the word out to the community, which he was great at. Gary was good with the graphic design and the advertising and getting the volunteers and stuff. So we all had our strengths. And we were young men and we were short-sighted, and we had our falling out, but we're much older and wiser, and we've moved on. But once I left them and they went their own way and did their own shows, like they do Tokyo Bronx and stuff now, I needed help, so I hired one of the girls that worked at the Bronx Council of the Arts, Vanessa, and she was the one that was really keeping it together organizational wise. Her and her boyfriend, she was paid, her boyfriend volunteered, and they helped me at the Javits like for 3 or 4 years. promoting it, doing shows, doing all the paperwork that I didn't want to do. It's like, like I would write the grant, and they were like my second and third pair of eyes.
Wow.
But of course, time moved on. They got married. They moved to Long Island. Young
Things
people want to start their lives. You can't fault them for that.
Did he Long Island Hero show?
No, I mean, now she's working for a big company and making millions of dollars for all these other companies and stuff. So,
Okay.
but then I did it by myself, and then we changed it to Women in Comics with Regine. Did that till 2019, and then pandemic. Then we went our separate ways in 2022, and I tried to do the show there, but the pandemic canceled my show in 2021 and 2022 because of lockdowns and logistical whatever, mask wearing. We got more paperwork. After 9/11, we had more parking tickets. I don't know if you were in New York after 9/11, and all of a sudden
I moved after 9/11.
So after 9/11, we had more like parking tickets and more. You can no longer walk into a federal building just by going you had to have a destination and clearance, and then after the pandemic, the same thing. You had all these new restrictions, and so to do a show, I would have to know exactly who's going to be in my show for the library system, like 10 months out. So that means that I would have to have a built-in audience of dealers. Now we work in a comic book industry, and it's gig to gig. It's a gig worker thing, and nobody knows what shows they're doing in the beginning of January. So that became a non-starter for me to work with the library anymore, because they had these new protocols. There were new people. I had to make myself known and make introductions and all that stuff, and we just didn't gel. They wanted to do it a certain way. They wanted to own it, actually, which didn't happen. So I just sorry, I can't work with you guys. So they canceled my event 2 weeks out. They're like, well, we didn't get all the paperwork, and we have these logistical new things, mask, and we need to have COVID this and COVID that. And this is 2022, 2 years after COVID. So they just canceled the show for internal logistical things, but basically it just came down to paperwork,
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I haven't done a show since, because anytime I want to do something, there's this extra step that I didn't need before,
And by the way, speaking of COVID, I think there was some news that it finally came out that this shit was actually from a lab.
Yes, it did. It everything that Trump said that people were saying was true about China and the lab and Fauci. That's all true. I mean, there was a hearing,
but it was our lab in China.
It's our lab in China.
Yeah.
So they want to blame China, the government, but it's actually
It was our lab.
It's our lab. It's the United States, and this came out like years ago. And this came out during the pandemic, but the media were trying to spin it to the bat story in the caves,
Right?
And
the wet markets.
And the
They're
wet
eating
markets.
bats.
And the Chinese are eating bats, and all this xenophobia, right? Again, we have to find the enemy and blame the Chinese government. But this is like, the Chinese government and America is like she's like the guma, like she's like the side piece that nobody wants to admit, or the fat girl on the block that you're screwing, right? Like, it's like, and that's not now we live in different times, but back in the 80s, if you dated a fat girl, you didn't tell anybody. It's like, she doesn't matter if she was nice and she was a golden person and she was good, and no, we didn't screw the fat girl, but everyone fucked the fat girl and nobody talked about it. But it's like, and that's China. China is the girl that does everything for you, works for you, does all this great stuff for you, but you deny that there's any relationship, or if there is a relationship, it's a bad one. And that's how America treated China during the pandemic. Like the fat girl that you were like, yes, you
But
guys.
But she's not the fat girl anymore.
No. Now she's the superpower. And she's a threat. Now she's the ex-wife.
Now she's the one with the.
Right.
So, do you need a check for that? Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, how much are you going to spend? No,
right.
You're not going to spend that much.
Right.
This is how much you're going to spend.
Right. With the tariffs made China from the fat girl down the block to the ex-wife, that's calling the shots. And
there's something mentioned on
right.
Bill Maher's show Friday,
right.
when they were referring to Fauci's diary that apparently Obama told him not to do the lab stuff,
Right.
whatever they were doing,
Right.
not to do it,
Right.
and he did it anyway.
Right.
Oh, it's like even the thing with Ukraine. He told him not to fuck around with Ukraine.
Right.
He told him not to mess with Libya either, and then Hillary still did the shit with Libya.
Yeah. And then Russia was like the ex-girlfriend, right? Back in World War II.
Right. Right.
Right.
Girlfriend.
Right.
Girlfriend.
Who was
And the
almost
girlfriends have gotten together.
right, right. The girlfriends
get
got
together.
Right.
Now they're
Now Israel's the fat girl
now they're
that you have to feel sorry for because she's fat.
now they're
But she's going to war with everybody else. She's the Karen, the fat Karen that's starting shit with everybody. Go ahead. Sorry.
well, I just kind of want to switch to the Odyssey a little bit.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, sure.
The Odyssey,
That fucking horrific film. Yeah.
horrific film. Yes.
It's like,
So
I'm gonna be a lobster by the time we get out of this. But
I don't know if they're all available on YouTube in France, but all three other versions of the Odyssey are on
right.
YouTube. And so last night I watched the entirety of the Armand Assante.
That's my favorite.
The Armand Assante 1997 one, which was fantastic. And I did not remember
Right.
that it was produced by Francis Ford Coppola and Nicholas Meyer.
Oh, nice.
And then a lot of the technical people were all from the Star Wars films. So they had, these creature effects were done by Jim Henson's
Right.
studio, and they had other behind the scenes people worked on the Star Wars and James Bond, whatever. And it was pretty accurate to the Homer original story. And it had a great cat, Isabella Rossellini as Athena, who you actually see on screen.
Right.
And another Christopher Lee. And they actually do go to hell. He does actually go to hell, the flames of hell. And the scene with the Cyclops was fantastic, with the makeup by the Jim Henson. So it was. Now the other version, which I just started watching, is the 6-hour French-Italian version, which also stars Irene Papas. But now, this is like 30 years earlier. She plays Penelope. Right in the 1997 version, she plays his mother, who.
Oh, you got cut off. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Sorry.
Later on, they meet her
You're on
in hell. So it's a 6-hour version. It's 4 parts on YouTube. It does have subtitles, so it's great. I just started watching it yesterday. It's interesting that the first part, the premiere episode, actually starts at the end, where the son is making the announcement that he's going to go to. He doesn't go to Sparta as in the movie. He goes to a different island to find his father, and that whole sequence. So I haven't watched the entire first episode yet, but apparently it starts from the end, and I guess it'll go back to the beginning. But both movies, what I liked about the Armand Assante version is that the Trojan horse, it looks like it's put together by a bunch of kids. That basically they got all the scraps of wood, and put it together. It kind of sort of looks like a horse. But you can see it's basically like thrown together. Whereas the one in the new version, they must have had a lot of artisans sculpting that thing. I mean, it's like so detailed, and of course then how they were able to transport it without any wheels. Which in the original book, whatever, I mean, it is on wheels, so you can move it. Even 3,000 years ago, they figured out, gee, you know what? We need wheels to kind of move this thing around. So yeah, that a lot of the there's so many details in the Asante version, um,
I love that version.
which were not, and it also explains why it took them, I don't know, 10 years to get back, because they had met the god of the wind, played by Michael J. Pollard,
That's right.
and he put all the winds in the bag, which wasn't supposed to be open. So then they just about see Ithaca on the horizon, and some of the idiot crew members decide to open up the bag and release the wind. So then that's why they're lost.
Yeah.
Because the gods have deliberately thought to screw them up, which of course then the gods are not in. They don't mention anything about the gods or anything else
In the new version?
in the new version. I mean, it's they mentioned Zeus a couple of times. What other detail that at the end, if you remember, Matt Damon refers to it.
I haven't seen the new version because
Okay.
I had a feeling it was not going to be that great.
Yeah. I'm not giving anything away, but he actually refers to it as the Bronze Age. It's like, what? Yes. So this is the end of. He tells his wife, "This is the end of the Bronze Age." I'm going, what?
No.
Oh
My God.
you have to see it in the original. I'm sure they show it subtitled in France.
Oh yeah, you can actually watch the original films in
Ridiculous.
English.
And of course, then all the anachronisms. I miss my dad. It's like, come on.
Yeah, I felt like the new movie was it sucked.
Oh.
No, it was interesting.
Did you hear what the translator said?
No, what did they say?
Well, the lady who Nolan based this version of the Odyssey was from a new translation from a woman who, she's a translator, wanted to make it more accessible to modern audiences,
Right.
like the Odyssey. Apparently, it's supposed to be a pretty good version, but she completely trashed the Odyssey, Nolan's Odyssey. She said, "I would be embarrassed if I wrote something like that."
Right.
She's like, "There's no sex in it. The food looks like it sucks."
Yeah.
She just goes
Like they were
right
chewing
through.
on intestines or something
Oh,
like that. It was
yes.
it's like the food looked like they were chewing on silicone rubber
They probably were.
intestines.
Probably.
It wasn't real food. It looked like they were.
Greek food is nothing like that.
It looked disgusting.
Even back then, it's basically the same food as you get
The
now.
sirens were not even the sirens. It's like
Yeah.
they took all the fun out of it. There's no gods.
I'm going to refer back to.
They lie to you saying that this girl's Athena. That's not true. It's a lie.
I'm going to refer back to the. I'm just going to describe a little bit more about because you should watch it also. The Armand Asante version, which was directed by a Russian director, Andrei Kostov.
Wonderful.
Who's like Academy Award nominated.
Mhm.
A lot of his crew were Russian.
Mhm.
And as a matter of fact,
They're Russian here, Russian there.
have you seen the movie Ilya Muromets, the Russian film? It was released as Sword of the Dragon in the United States in 1960.
I think that's actually free on YouTube too.
It's on YouTube. Yes, it's a classic Russian fantasy film, which a lot of
Like Solaris.
it's better than Solaris, far better. It's like Peter Jackson and everybody has stolen from it. The Lord of the Rings and every fantasy film, So there's one scene with Michael J. Pollard as the wind god. There's a direct reference because there's a wind god in the Ilya Muromets, and there's a definite reference to the way that he blows the wind, and his face kind
I
of
was going to say the direct.
kind of okay, Ray, and the way his cheeks like bellows, and then some of the other effects.
Yeah.
So definitely you saw the effect of that Russian film on
Right.
this one with this Russian director.
Right.
But the other thing is talking about the complaints about Lupita.
Yeah, I think that was overblown. The internet
Well-
for like
well-
a 5-minute scene of Helen of Troy, the internet went crazy.
I mean, and Helen is in
If it's 5
in the
minutes,
book
probably less than that.
explaining what happened. So she's
Right.
in the book.
They minimized her role.
Well, what no one mentions is that Vanessa Williams is a major part of the Asante version, and she
Yeah, the TV
plays.
show,
I can't think
Circe.
She plays Callisto.
Callisto.
Calypso.
Yeah.
Or
And-
Calypso.
And the island is an island of Amazon women.
Right.
So he's stuck on an island with Amazon women,
Yeah.
and he's having a good time.
Right. He's not
And
suffering.
there's like semi-nudity with
Right.
sex scenes with Vanessa Williams. So it's like, and she's way hotter than most of the other women in the movie. So
Mhm.
it's like, oh, they're making a big deal about a black woman. Well, guess what?
Yeah, but see, Tom, Vanessa, they would say, well, she's black, but she's not black.
It goes back to the light skin thing.
And
Yeah.
she's from Westchester County too, so she's all right.
It's just
Yeah, exactly.
it's
She
the light
got
skin thing
green
we're
eyes
talking
too,
about
you know.
earlier,
Well, it's funny that
you know, like passing, right?
and the other star of it, who plays one of the suitors, one of the main ones, Eric Roberts. I just on the side, my friend Fred Carpenter, who unfortunately has dementia, and I shouldn't even say that. And he directed like a bunch of movies, but he used Martin DeSante and Eric Roberts in a couple of his films. I've met them, so it was kind of funny seeing these guys. Oh, these guys, we worked with these guys. Armand lives in Rockland County, by the way. He has a farm in Rockland County. So
Wow.
they're all local boys that were making this movie.
Well, at least I could say with Armand, he looks like his
Italian.
lineage ties back to the region, right? So and who I would have picked if I was doing the Odyssey today wouldn't have been Matt Damon, because Matt Damon,
White boy,
What-
Yeah, Bostonian.
I would have picked Javier Bardem,
Right.
Yeah,
because
he would have been good.
he would have been good, because Odysseus is supposed to be a bit of an asshole.
Right.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
He's an asshole.
absolutely. Oh, Bardem would have been great.
Yeah.
Or even if you want to go for, someone a little older. What's his name? My brain is going. The guy that played Zorro.
Oh, Antonio Banderas. Yeah.
Zorro Banderas.
Yeah, he would have had a different thing to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
He would have added more of the
He's a
asshole.
little older now, but
Yeah.
he would have been good too. So it's just
Right.
it's just
Yeah.
'cause most of the people in the '97 version were all
Right.
kind of ethnic, kind of from the Mediterranean area. So that would have, that kind of worked out. Greta Scacchi, she's Italian, played the wife.
It was a great version. I even though it's free on YouTube, when it wasn't free, I remember my kids had to read the Odyssey for school,
Mhm.
and then I decided, okay, I know you guys are having a tough
Watch
time. I bought the Odyssey, Armando Sante, and we watched it.
Even
it was,
Christopher Lee has Italian in his background. Di
I can see
Caradini. So even he has Italian in his background. So everybody in the cast basically was from the Mediterranean. So yeah, it's just
I can see that, because I don't know if you know this, Boris Karloff was cousins with
Boris Karloff.
Boris Karloff was cousins with Hugo Pratt, and Hugo Pratt's from the guy that created Corto Maltese. He's from Venice.
Right. Right.
and and Boris Karloff, actually his heritage is Indian.
Mhm.
He's actually part Indian. His mother was
Interesting.
Indian, because if you see a lot of pictures of him without makeup, he's dark skinned.
Mhm.
That kind of kept
Yeah.
it kept
So they made him lighter.
yes. So his lineage is actually English and Indian.
Mm.
Wow.
So that's another thing that people don't realize. Because if you meet his daughter, who's very nice at the convention, she's dark skinned.
Interesting.
So yeah. So
Interesting.
there's a lot of things a lot of dark people that they kept quiet that
Yeah, Hollywood does that, like Babe Ruth,
Carol Channing.
right?
Carol Channing, yeah.
Revealed in her
Yeah.
autobiography that she's really black.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All those
Yeah.
years.
Yep.
Nobody knew.
A lot of well, they knew, they just didn't say anything. You know?
Right.
Just,
Oh
And
yeah.
there was other people like Lena Horne they were trying to force, and she was like, you're not forcing me to do shit. I'm black.
right. Exactly.
Lena Horne was great. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I mean, you think about the Odyssey movie that's out now by that director. The
Mhm.
whole scene with the Cyclops, I felt like was just chiseled and cheapened to like
Oh
he
my
just went for the
God.
gore factor and took out the entire conversation between Ulysses and the giant.
Oh my
There's
God.
no he says maybe you should reason with it. He goes, oh, there's no time for that, and they run out. Like what the fuck?
Wait,
This is
we have
stupid.
3 hours. We don't have enough time. We've got to go.
Yeah, we have no time for conversation. They made all the buildup and the characterization and
Oh my
the
God.
depth of characters was eliminated and replaced with violence and bloodshed.
Well,
I mean, even the wheels, they took the wheels off the Trojan horse and put on the beaches. Like, what the fuck is the point of that?
It was I call that movie the Cliff Notes Marvel Comics version of the Odyssey.
Oh, we're so smart. We got a fucking Exxon logo, not Exxon, Texaco logo of a horse. We're hiding in it on high tide on the beach where their men are drowning in the horse. And then they drag the horse to the castle instead of being outside the castle as a gift. How is it a gift? If it's on the beach over a mile away from where the castle.
yeah, you just kind of like what the hell did
Drag
the
it to that spot.
Yeah, and they dragged it in. It's shit, and then
washed up.
popped it up. That made no fucking sense. They
I
had
haven't seen
wheels in
it.
that century.
I'll
Yes.
be honest with you. I haven't seen it yet. A nephew of mine who he's not just only a cinephile, he also went to school for film and stuff like I did. But anyway, he texts me, "Oh, I can't wait to talk to you about it," because we talk about films all the time. Talk about this new Odyssey film. I'm like, look, I'm probably not going to see it for a very long time because I'll be honest with you, I really think Nolan is a good director, but he's just a little too English, too British for the Mediterranean.
And he also wrote it. That's the problem.
Yeah, he wrote it. He's a
Yeah,
terrible.
He doesn't write his movies.
I mean,
Mm.
I don't
He's a
know who
terrible writer.
did he write Oppenheimer or just directed it?
I think he just directed it.
Because whoever wrote that was a piece of shit too. It's like, how do you write about the fucking atomic bomb and the Japanese being bombing? You don't show any Japanese people.
Yeah.
We were joking around the other day about like when the bomb goes off, they should just clip in Godzilla -1, right? And just have the destruction of Godzilla destroying Japan
Right.
because there's zero Japanese deaths or documentation of that, or even
Right, exactly.
I mean, people were turned literally into shadows.
yes,
Apparently, when you go to Nagasaki and Hiroshima,
Mhm.
there's actually all that's left of some human beings is the shadow
right.
because it got destroyed. I mean, if you don't end it, and other than there was like 3 movies that I liked of Nolan's that I really like. I like the first 2 Batman films he did. And I like Memento. And I really like Memento. Memento, I think, was his best film. I don't know if you remember Memento, but it's about a guy who has short-term memory and he forgets, so he has to tattoo his back. I thought that was excellent.
Yeah.
Inception was okay, but overall, he has this tendency of wanting to be so realistic
Right.
that he's cartoonish.
Yeah.
Right.
Same thing with Ra's al Ghul. He took out the whole thing of the pit.
And it's an Irishman.
Yeah, and I was just like,
It's an Irishman. There you go.
He's not even
Ra's al Ghul is supposed to be Arabic, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Yeah, he's supposed to be Arabic. Yeah.
And then Bane
Another
was
part- another
British
part that-
instead of
right.
Hispanic.
Another part Harvey
Instead of El
Bardem could have
Salvadorian.
done. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Bane is
Yeah.
supposed to be
With an asthma condition.
basically lucha libre.
He's a lucha. He's a lucha.
So
I give him
They
credit.
got it
I'll
wrong.
give
They
him
made
one
him
thing.
a Mexican mask, but then he was from El Salvador or something.
I guess they like the lucha libre, right? And the Joker, which I thought Heath did a very good job at his Joker. I really think he poured a little too much into it, but it's basically Ichi the Killer
Yeah, Itchy the Killer. Yes, exactly. It's Itchy the Killer
with the Crow.
with the Crow. Yes.
yes.
Literally, they stole scenes from the
Yeah,
Crow.
I mean, there are
Literally.
a lot of good things in the first 2 movies, but the third one, yes, the third one's a mess.
Third
Yeah.
one's a mess. But here's the thing: a lot of people have pointed out that Nolan ripped off a lot of stuff from anime, like Paprika.
Yes. Yeah,
you know, like
paprika.
flat out scenes. You
Yeah,
see,
flat out scenes, and he still flat out scenes from The Crow for the Joker movie. Yeah,
yeah.
he's doing
So-
an homage, kind of like Reservoir
Well,
Dogs and City of
Tarantino does
Fire.
it all the fucking time.
Yeah, exactly.
The only good thing about the third movie is that they shot most of it in New York City, so we got to see. Well, we didn't see them shooting, but a lot of times we're in the city, and it's like, oh, they got it blocked off. Oh, they're shooting the Batman movie over here on Wall Street.
Right.
So that was the good thing, that we get to see a lot of actual locations in New York City where they
Like Wall Street and shit.
filmed it. So
Yeah,
that-
it was during Occupy too.
Yeah.
yes,
And,
yes, exactly.
Yeah, and the thing about the third one, where it was kind of like, you could tell his attitude towards Occupy was very dismissive.
Yes, exactly.
Like they're just these crazy kids,
Mhm.
and
Meanwhile,
that kind of tainted it
multi-class.
for me.
Well,
'Cause-
yeah, I mean, the New York NYPD were paying homeless people to start shit.
Yeah.
With the demonstrators.
Yeah.
Blame the demonstrators for it.
Right.
Yep. So and making it, and Jon Stewart was real shit at that time towards the Occupy,
Yeah.
because he's making it seem like they're shitting all over the place. And
Right.
meanwhile, his brother, I don't know if you know this, his brother was the head of the New York Stock Exchange.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
really?
Yeah, you don't know that? Yeah.
No.
Jon Stewart's brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah,
No,
I
not
re-
his brother-in-law, his older brother.
His older brother. Wow.
really.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember going down to the city during Occupy and just
Mhm.
checking it out.
Mhm.
And yeah, they had a lot of lawsuits that they had to pay out because they were arresting people, just grabbing them off the streets, kind of like
People on their lunch
ICE
break.
or
And they just
Kind of like the Republican convention. They were doing that
oh
too.
yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
like
That's
people
right.
were just watching it on their lunch breaks and got picked up.
There was one dude during the Republican convention.
Mhm.
He was just going to go cross the street to get his Chinese food.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
And he gets to the sidewalk. He looks at the cop and he says, "Look, I'm just going to go get my Chinese food." Mind
Right.
you, he's a white dude too. I'll
Right. Right.
And he's like, "You're not going to arrest me if I cross the street." No, man. As soon as he puts his foot on the road, arrested.
It's
And he
ridiculous.
was thrown in a warehouse with everyone else during the Republican convention.
That's some crazy.
That sounds
shit.
very familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very crazy.
Yep.
I got this video real quick that I want to play about another bombing.
Oh, right.
Make it real quick.
Make it real quick.
You said you got to do it real quick. Just kidding.
Here we go.
Oh, shit.
Kidney units medical turnout. Alaska Hospital. Real quick. It was just a quick reel. That was,
Yeah.
it's like, that was earlier, a few months back, but it's just like, I want people to remember that this is not we have to stop calling it a war. It's not a war. It's an
That's
assault.
massacre.
It's a massacre. There's no army that they're fighting. There is no Hamas army. They're dead. And the rest of it's a Hollywood thing, like where they're just dressing up people in costumes, pretending to be a military, but there's no actual military fighting.
Yeah, and,
You know.
and there's video I saw on
Hamas is the
Facebook.
government. Yeah.
on Lebanon. So they I guess they're letting some people back into southern Lebanon. So they're driving in. Everyone's driving these brand new cars, and now
Right.
whatever, I don't know what city it was, whatever, but
Right.
it looks like Gaza now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause
Yep. I got that one next. Yeah.
Southern Lebanon's gotten like massively pummeled, and that's part of the region they want to take
Yeah.
to create Greater Israel.
They're basically destroying all this
Christian
land.
sites too, which used to be
Yeah,
their
Christian sites.
allies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's Ben Gvir, one of the
Yeah.
evil. I think does the ICC have a warrant out for him too?
Yep.
Yeah. The crazy thing, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it. He just turned 50.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he looks. Yeah, he looks.
He looks much older.
He looks so much older.
Is
Yeah, Lebanon.
Rahel? What does it say? Damages Israel and the United States. Oh, sorry, somebody wrote Israel
looks like he
wrong.
should be
They
running a
misspelled
deli.
it. Right. So the sovereign country. This is Iran. Seek damages for loss of life and infrastructure to last. I don't know. This person is English is not their first language. I can see that, but you can see the damage is caused that video. Yeah.
Well, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, they don't know how to spell. Maybe it's English is their second language. I'm not going to fault them for that, but it's like,
Yeah.
but you can see the video. It's pretty terrible. That's a live, and that's Lebanon, not Gaza. You know.
Yeah, yeah, and the West Bank didn't have Hamas.
Yeah.
People don't understand that.
Yeah,
like
exactly, it's the
and they're
people.
attacking the West Bank. It has no one from Hamas.
No one. Yeah.
And the way I view it, if you resist, you have every right to resist.
Right, and
Every fucking right to
Right.
resist.
and we already negotiated with the PLO that they were going to take over from Hamas. They were going to. So the people that it's funny, we used Hamas to take out the PLO, and now we're going to put the then we demonized. It's fucking ridiculous. We hated the PLO. We hated Arafat. So we created Hamas to get rid of the PLO. They fight each other. Hamas takes over, and then we hate Hamas because they didn't vote in our puppet dictator. And then Hamas takes over, and then we close the borders and we close off the ocean, the airspace. We put them in an open air prison. Now we fought Hamas. Hamas is dead. We only have the government Hamas, like the shell of whatever is left of it. There is no soldiers. And then we're bringing back the PLO, which we hated. We brought Hamas back.
Oh, don't worry. They're going to
It's like this. It's like it just shows you the incompetence of our international policy.
But it's a little bit more than just the incompetence. I think then what they'll do once they get tired of the PLO, if they get a chance to, I don't think we have that much time to keep running this game, is then bring back a version of Hamas again.
Right.
And because the whole thing is, and this was from the very beginning of Israel,
right.
They knew they needed an external enemy to keep the country unified.
Yeah, exactly.
And goes back to what I was telling you about creating enemies in order to unify. And I think that's a big problem for a lot of nations, but especially when you're created that way, where we need this enemy, because as soon as they don't have an enemy, they'll start looking inward. And I think the fear is within the Israeli elite, what if we end up with a civil war? And that's a whole other can of worms. I don't know how CNN's going to spin that if they do end up in a civil war, because from what I've seen and I've been reading, they look very divided. I mean,
big time.
And that's sideways.
Yeah, there was actually a demonstration or something.
Yeah,
Haaretz had it the other day about, and there were a group of Jews or whatever talking about what they're doing in
the West Bank.
And they were like, kind of up in arms about that. So yeah.
And
stealing land.
I just don't know how suddenly then the media will say, how are they going to spin it? Like if they end up in a civil war, how do you spin that? How do you say, because then you have to cover how it rose to all of a sudden being a civil war. Then you have to talk about the divisions within the country. And they never tell us that Israel's divided.
Right, because you have the people that were born there versus the people that are transplants.
The communists,
and the transplants are the ones that are.
There you go, Tom.
The ones that are kicking people off their land, and then the ones born there have to support them with the IDF, with their So
they brought back the communists as the boogeyman. So here we go. Although I think
problem solved.
I think that people are not swallowing that story now.
No,
because it's really the over 70s.
Yeah, they try to lie to them and say that the PLO and just like we said that Saddam Hussein was working with Bin Laden, which was an outright lie, and the media sold it to the people.
We were working with Bin Laden.
Right, we were working with Bin Laden.
We were working with Saddam Hussein. He was our boy too.
Saddam Hussein was our boy too.
We were actually. We even funded Castro at first.
We did, and then Castro.
And then we were like,
they're communists.
We keep creating more of our own fucking problem.
That's the whole thing.
Well, the thing is that they fund both sides because whoever wins, we win.
Well, isn't there that book that you talked about, which I have to read about Alan Dulles and
the devil.
Oh, the Devil's Chessboard. Yeah. Oh, that goes into that shit. Oh my god, I read that one. That is. Yeah. That definitely is a mind screw, but it actually puts a lot
Alan
of
Dulles.
the Devil's the devil.
Yes.
Alan was the devil through and through. But I'll give Dulles one thing. Yeah. Oh, that goes into that shit.
I think we got some comments, but I can't read them because it's.
I'll give Alan Dulles one thing over these yahoos. He knew how to divert the attention away from himself.
Yes.
These idiots are like, yeah, I fucking did it. What are you doing?
Exactly.
Now, even Trump is jealous because they named the airport after Dulles, so now he's got to get an airport after him. So
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any old Dulles loyal goons still at the CIA, but he might not want to try that one. Might not want to touch the Dulles airport because
We have 19 people watching.
hey,
oh wow,
You know,
no,
according to my phone.
It's an interesting.
Thank you all for tuning in.
It's an interesting conundrum. The other thing I want to say about the Odyssey is that watching the Armand Desante version, and I have a feeling that's why the Odyssey is making so much money. There's because they're talking about this war that lasted 20 years. That was a waste. That was unnecessary.
I'm getting into another.
That they lost so many people for war that was not needed, and they talk about that in Homer's book and in the movie. I said, "Oh, sound familiar?"
I was watching an old X-Files the other day. I started watching X-Files season 1 and season 2 on the Disney Channel, and even an episode talks about Dulles there. And what was even crazier, there was an episode talking about our mRNA that basically they can control you with. This is like
I think I remember that episode.
Yeah, like that they can remotely control you by putting a foreign agent in your body to control your
Really?
and as a vaccination.
I think I remember that one.
So they're talking about the COVID vaccine and the nanobites, the stuff that doesn't really exist. That's just a conspiracy, but they were talking about it back in 1989 or 90, whenever that show was.
In the early 90s, right?
Early 90s.
Well, it's all the brainstorming. They're letting us know ahead of time.
Right.
Well, I was just watching because Ray was telling me about Utopia, the British version, not
British,
the American.
yeah,
the British version. And they're talking about mRNA.
Yeah.
mRNA, same thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's came before. Yeah, to let you know how bad things were. People think we denazified.
No, we didn't.
Once you read the Alan Dulles thing, and not just the standard they helped create NASA.
Mm-hmm.
They also filled up NATO.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the head of the Western German intelligence was what's his name? Reinhard Gehlen. Reinhard Gehlen was one of the top spies for the Nazis. Mm-hmm. So they literally handed over West Germany to the Nazis.
Yes.
Right.
And a lot of the people in different, like in Rome and other places, for like newspapers and stories, they were ex-Nazis.
Yes,
right.
A lot of them. Yeah,
a lot of them. So...
Even during the Nakba, there was a famous Nazi assassin that was working for the Zionists,
the Israelis.
For the Israelis to.
Thinking back, you mentioned ex-Nazis. I'm thinking about the movie The Bedford Incident, which I don't know if you guys ever saw it.
No,
I've heard of it though.
Okay, it's on YouTube.
Yes, it is.
Along with Failsafe, and those two movies from 1964, which I saw in the theater. I was a young child, and they're nuclear bomb kind of anti-nuke. What's going to happen is going to be there's going to be World War III, whatever. Bedford Incident is quite good with Sidney Poitier and Richard Widmark. But one of the characters in that movie, because it basically what it is Richard Widmark is a United States captain of I guess a destroyer or a cruiser, and they're in the Arctic Circle. And there's a Russian submarine, and he's convinced that he is going to attack that submarine and destroy it, even though he's not supposed to. And it's kind of like Moby Dick Ahab. But one of the characters in the movie who's on the ship is a German naval bigwig. And it turns out during the movie you find out that he's an ex-Nazi. So it's like, oh, okay. So that definitely put that on your list, the Bedford Incident.
Bedford Incident. Actually, that's the same era as my favorite movie. It's usually my July 4th go-to movie. I didn't watch it this year, Dr. Strangelove.
Yes,
Dr.
yes,
Strangelove,
yes.
yeah.
Failsafe. Okay,
Yes.
and the movie trivia about Failsafe is that Failsafe is based on the book Red Alert, which they actually um, uh, based Dr. Strangelove on,
Mhm.
but without giving it credit. So there was like a lawsuit, and I guess they paid the author of Red Alert money. So the same studio that did Columbia that did Dr. Strangelove actually produced the movie Failsafe based on Red Alert, and it came out the same year as Dr. Strangelove. Actually, all three of those movies came out the same year, '64. So that's a little. But
Interesting, and they're all similar.
they're also there's a similarity. Yeah, Failsafe is kind of like the straight, serious version of Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah.
And Bedford Incident, Doctor Strangelove, but on the ocean. So it's kind of a trilogy. So it's kind of like if you watch all three in a row.
So they're basically trying to warn you about like Operation Menu and dinner and lunch and breakfast.
Well, what's wild about Dr. Strangelove, I don't know if you know this, he had actually asked, Kubrick had asked the U.S. military to use some of their equipment. They said no, because they read the script. They're like, we're not giving you this shit. So he's like, all right, I'll create my own plane. So apparently he had one of the set designers, look through a bunch of Popular Mechanics magazines, and they recreated the bomber right down to a T.
Wow, that's cool.
And it got to the point that the feds heard of this, so they had to go investigate, because they're like, how the fuck did you manage to get this right so perfect? Like, did you have a spy inside the U.S. government? They're like, no, you're fucking with the Popular Mechanics.
Right?
Oh yeah, that's great.
That's the thing too. Popular Science, the magazine, actually talked about weather machines. It was also on one of our local news. I think it was ABC that talked about weather machines controlling the weather.
Right.
The Chinese used it during the Olympics when the Miramar were protesting the Olympics. And remember, like all over New York and all the cities are protesting the Olympics. And then suddenly, and then it was during the rainy season and there was no rain in China, right?
Yeah, they used silver iodide.
Yeah. And suddenly the protesters stopped protesting because they created a typhoon right over Miramar, right into the poor area. And then no more protests about China.
Stop this shit.
Right. But then there's no weather machines that actually can control. There's nothing.
Well, maybe they're not in the way that we think.
Yeah.
I think the problem is we sort of, when you say weather machine, it kind of goes into the idea of like there's some dude with knobs and dials.
Yeah.
Instead of like they literally shoot up these missiles into clouds.
The clouds, yeah.
And
clouds,
they start to seed them.
Right. Even Saudi Arabia was bragging about that at what was it? Not Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry.
UAE.
The UAE was bragging about how they got our cloud seeding technology, that they're going to bring rain to the desert because
what is this, doomed?
Right, and then all of a sudden we had all these floodings. Right, I guess they didn't use the right amount or something, and then they had that major flooding, historical storms and stuff. And then they stopped talking about the weather machines that they had, like this technology to create rainstorms. But then they flooded the desert, right? So it's almost like a trick, they spent all this money.
Well, there was that other story. I don't know if you heard this, but I assume it's a conspiracy. It's hard to prove that it is or it isn't, right? It's one of those things. Do you remember those big radars in the Middle East that Iran blew up recently?
Yes.
People were saying that all of a sudden you start having all this flooding and stuff because they had knocked those out.
Yes, and there was no rain. They didn't get rain for a long time. All the rivers that were droughted and dried out for 30 plus years became filled literally within a few days. So the radars were controlling their weather. So we do have weather machines. Yeah. They got rain. They got snow. It snowed in some of their regions. After they knocked out, and they had no idea. There was just like Bob Ross would call it a happy little accident. But
we're just gonna make a little out of it.
Basically, we've according to my friend Malcolm Nance, Black Man Spy, we have abandoned all our bases in the Middle East, in the Gulf area, except the one base that we still use is the airport in Saudi Arabia, but that's their airport, so we kind of like lease space.
Right.
But the bases that we had, they're all gone.
They're gone. They're
Yeah.
history.
They're all gone. History. So we've retreated completely from there. I guess that they wanted to put some people in Jordan and Israel, but yeah, we've completely retreated from there. We'll see how long.
Right.
I was having a conversation with my friend, a high school friend who was ex-military, and we're talking about we've got about 4 weeks left of oil in our national reserves.
Oh yeah.
Before it hits the bottom. The bottom would be like 250,000 barrels, which is what's supposed to be left as emergency for the military.
Right.
Yep. And the thing is because we can't get all of it either, because if we start to take out too much, because they're underneath these sort of salt caverns, the caverns collapse.
Right.
And the oil is fucking. I swear, if they're the Illuminati is basically a collection of Wile E. Coyotes.
Right.
Yeah.
They sit around coming up with some dumb shit, and they're like, "Oh, this is gonna be genius," and then it blows up in our faces, and they're like, "Well, maybe let's try some more dumb shit. What if we get rockets and then tie it to our backs?"
Right.
Because that's just oh yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's not even the fertilizer, by the way.
Oh,
We have a shortage of fertilizer.
right.
Right.
Right. So part of the world is probably going to be starving. Yeah, I know it's one thing after another.
Yeah.
But you have to see how stupid can they be. Let's see.
Oh,
There's no bottom.
there's no bottom. They're just.
It's like endlessly falling.
It's
Like Alice. Oh.
you know when they say the cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
The cream is usually the fat.
Right.
In this case, it's like they're the shit that floats up to the top.
Right.
We're dealing with them. We're
Yeah.
just. I mean, Rubio is now starting this whole anti-communism thing,
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
ridiculous. That's
and I'm like, fuck, we can't handle a middleweight like Iran, because
Right.
when you say you want to challenge communism, that means you want to pivot to China, and we're getting our asses kicked by fucking Iran.
Well,
It's a middleweight.
Well, what it is really, it's mostly with him. It's Cuba.
Yeah.
His little white whale, and so that's.
Poor Cuba.
I was posting some videos from Havana yesterday. I guess somebody
I'll have to check them out.
somebody is there, and people are walking around. I mean, the only thing is there's like a lot of garbage around in some areas, but everyone looks like they're happy. I mean, I'm not happy, but I mean, it looks like a really interesting place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been to Cuba. It's a wonderful place. What I
Yeah.
can say about Cuba, and I was there I'm celebrating my 30th anniversary with with Susie.
Oh wow.
Okay, 30
I
years.
just,
Yeah,
I just made 25 the other day. So.
yeah, 30. So our honeymoon was in Manzanillo in Cuba, and what I can tell you about Cuba, it was just suspended over like severe poverty, and it's because of the embargo. It's not because of the policies. I mean,
Right.
if they were trading with other countries, they'd be okay.
Yeah,
Right.
You know,
exactly. I mean,
it's
yeah, it's like you're looking at the people there, and it's like, and you think, why are we doing this?
yeah,
Yeah, it's stupidity. It's like
it's a vendetta.
It's a vendetta, but
It's a vendetta.
this is a
a 60
sorry,
year-
Tom, but this is like a boomer thing, like
No.
it's a boomer thing where they feel like they want to play all the old games and they don't work.
It's
You
a
know?
60-year
Well-
event.
They don't work. These lies, these stories that they tell us, it only works for the people that are just uneducated, the people that are not paying attention,
What it is
the people that don't read. But
is-
everybody else that's literate is not being fooled.
is the sugar company, was it United Fruit or whatever?
Oh, United Fruit was
They
one
want
of
their
them. Yeah,
property back.
Yeah.
The casinos want their property back.
Yeah.
The mafia wants to get back in there to run the casinos.
Right.
Yeah.
They all want their property back. This is the whole bottom line.
yeah,
Rubio's
Yeah.
family wants their property back.
yeah.
This is the whole thing. They want all their stuff back.
And what's funny about Rubio, he left with Batista.
Right.
He didn't leave with his family. Didn't leave with Castro, and him and Cruz were saying some shit like that on an interview, and the interviewer said, "Yeah, but your family left with Batista." Anyway, and Castro,
Right.
it's just like, what? Come on.
No,
It's terrible. It's so terrible. Here's something, a little bit of history for you, in a sense, which is going to be wild because I don't like Franco. I fucking hate Franco with the deepest of passions. But
Right.
here's something which is a sort of a curveball, which will make you go, "What the fuck?"
Right.
A what the fuck moment with Miguel.
Right.
Franco refused to honor the embargo on Cuba. He would send Christmas toys and food to Castro. He was actually on friendly terms with Castro. And
Right.
frankly, Franco was one of the most anti-communist guys you could find. But Castro came from Galicia too. His family's from there. They both came from there.
Yeah.
So there's a certain friendship.
Related to royalty, right? He has royal bloodlines, you know.
Yeah. Well, at some point you do, but you probably lost it at some point because some other asshole came and kicked him out.
Right.
But, Franco was also very worried that Castro would recognize the Republic in exile. So he stayed on friendly terms with Franco. Now, Franco did it in our face. Actually broke the embargo in the American face because they knew that Americans needed the bases, right? That doesn't absolve Franco for being a total asshole. But here's the thing: Franco hated the Cubans in Miami. He hated them. And here's where right wing don't always match up. Why did he hate them? He hated them because he felt that their ancestors were the ones who sold out Cuba from Spain to the United States.
Makes sense.
So when Cubans go over, try to yippee yap yap with some of the more fascist elements, they can find out, be like, "Oh, you're the traitors."
Yeah, and we hear this whole thing like on like Trump was talking about Iran dividing and regime change. And you can see that that's all bullshit by the funeral that they just had. It was the largest funeral ever held on record.
Wasn't it 47 million people or something crazy?
Yeah, I got the video right here.
Right.
Let's share this here. Like,
So you've just come back from Iran to cover the funeral of the Ayatollah. Tell us something about what you learned about the resilience of the Iranian people in this relentless attack now. And do the Americans understand that? Do they have that message? Do they know what they're up against here?
I can't speak for all Americans. I can speak for this American.
Yeah.
And being, I would say, sticking out like a sore thumb in a sea of angry Iranians. But I was there with them on the streets of Tehran and in Mashhad in the millions. I didn't have any security guards protecting me or anything like that. I was received with great welcome, a lot of curiosity. A lot of people wanted to know what I was doing there. They wanted to know what I thought about X, Y, and Z. And it was, at times, there were some challenging conversations when you're dealing with the general public. You don't know who's coming at you, and it's a very emotionally charged situation, like the funeral of the supreme leader. It's a really intense. That's the best way I can describe it. An intense, emotional thing. And, I can say a lot about, what Scott said about the religious component is absolutely central to everything. And I really felt.
I'm gonna fast forward.
And then the ultimate test is against the form of marja. You have to go out there and you have to write your theory of religion as it applies to life. And you have to convince the people that you're a man that they can come to to see guidance and faith. And if you can't attract a marja, you're not the big boys. You don't get to join the big boy club. Iran is in many ways far more democratic through their religious practices than we are, because it truly is the power of the people that make the Ayatollahs relevant. If the people don't support the Ayatollahs don't get to be Ayatollahs because they don't get to appoint themselves. This is the amazing thing. And right now, like I said, I have superficial, book learning.
I encourage you all to watch The World This Week. They're a great podcast. I, I want to like advertise this. That's like about a 20-minute segment, but he just talks about like if they were divided, us sending in Israelis and other people to attack and kill people. There was about 3,000 people that died at that demonstration, right? And they were all like, "This is the United States admitting to basically a coup, a regime change." That united the people because now that they found out what's going on, there is no division. There is no, and those people that were trying to do that have been dealt with, you know? So it's like,
Well, it's not the first time we've done a coup.
right.
We started
Time.
our modern coup business because we did it before
Yeah, it's not the first
in Iran with Mossadegh.
right.
You know,
So it's just totally, like I said, it's this the old guard of this country is these guys in their 80s and 90s just fucking shit up around the world with half a brain like Trump. They're all like Trump. It's not just Trump. It's all of them.
yeah, because
They all need to retire and resign or like
Right.
it's
go
like
play golf.
go play golf.
Uh,
You know?
I think I've told you this before. I had a Russian student that I taught English to,
Right.
and she survived the collapse of the Soviet Union.
Mhm.
And once I asked her, I said, "So, what do you think led up to it?" She said, "Well, this was her perspective. After the war, the Great Patriotic War, World War II, a lot of the veterans knew that it was fucking a horrible war. It was tough. It decimated the country, and the state would put out a lot of propaganda. They knew it was propaganda because they already had fought the real war. They knew what it was like, and they knew it was bullshit.
Right.
But she said the kids that were raised by these people, which I guess would be the equivalent of the boomers, they started to believe the propaganda and not listening to the veterans saying, yeah, that might actually be horseshit. Yes, that's actually true, and so on. So when they got into the position of leadership, they believed the propaganda versus the real politique.
Right. The
And
reality
this is where we are.
is, yeah. Well, again, it's like that whole Christmas mentality that I want to ask Santa for something and then graduating it to God and then from God to the government and just wishing that you're going to get this stuff instead of actually doing something about it. You know, we
At
want
least the government you can actually call up.
You can call. Hey, how many times I called Chuck Schumer? He's never called me back.
No, but you can't call Santa. You can't call Santa. Santa has no telephone number, is what I mean. So at least it's more tangible, right?
But we're gonna wrap this up. It's been over 3 hours. We did our time and we did it earlier. I prefer this time.
I'm cool with it.
You know, maybe we could talk about doing it. Like that was great. Thanks for having you on, Miguel. It's always a pleasure.
Likewise, man. Always great being here.
Thanks, Tom, for coming in.
Yeah, well,
Good to see you, Tom.
I'll give my review of the French version of the Odyssey next week.
Yeah.
You know,
The Odyssey, yeah.
with the I can't pronounce his name. Femo, but whatever. The guy, he was in the James Bond movie Octopussy too. The guy who plays Odysseus in the French version, but I think he's either Middle Eastern or he's Iranian. So that's interesting. So I will give my review next week of the French version.
Awesome.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. And you'll hear. Maybe we could talk about the Age of Bronze, that graphic novel. That was actually about that as well.
But Ray, in the book, do they say that Bronze Age is ending?
Bronze Age. It's the end of the Bronze Age.
It's the end of the Bronze Age.
The end of the Bronze Age.
I think it was 4 graphic novels that did the whole Iliad and Odyssey, and it was really detailed and really drawn well.
Technically, it's supposed to, if I remember correct, I think it might be 7 or 9 books, but there's like a whole bunch of books that are lost.
Mm-hmm.
So we only have, I think, 2 or 3 books, like the Iliad.
Yeah, the Iliad. It was the
Odyssey, and the Iliad, and then there's like one more, and then like there's a whole bunch of other books that are lost.
Right. Lost in English or just in general?
Just in general.
Right.
Yeah, just lost.
Maybe the Bible was after it.
Oh no, they were too busy ripping off the Sumerians. I don't know if you
We
saw.
had Gilgamesh, which is before the Odyssey,
Oh,
right?
yeah. And actually, in the Bible, there's like multiple gods, El and Yahweh, and all that shit.
Yahweh.
And Moses came in later. Moses wasn't part of the original.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
is there Marvel comics?
He's the original Superman, the original orphan.
Exactly.
The hero orphan. He's the original.
Exactly. I just.
I'm gonna get shot for that, but it's true.
But it's interesting that
The House of El.
that there are no gods in this new Odyssey.
Yeah, that was annoying.
That's
No gods, none.
And here's the thing, right? Like the Odyssey is known to be based on the Egyptian tale, which is 4,000 years old, way older than the Odyssey. It's called the tale of the shipwrecked sailor,
Right.
where this guy recounts being on this island with this giant talking snake. And they say it's actually one of the first stories in which a lot of the things, different storytelling uses that we use today, that we can trace back to. But it's also set in a time period that is more mythical. So it isn't like set in a certain historical period. So it's most likely an esoteric tale. And then you can also take the Odyssey, if you look at it from an Egyptian perspective, it can also be the voyage of the soul in the afterlife, all the trials that you go through.
Right.
And he's heading west.
Right.
West for the ancient Greeks was Elysium, and for the Egyptians was Aru, which was the field of reeds.
Right.
So there's many layers to the story.
Yeah.
To sort of break it down to this realism is really sad.
And a lot of these stories were basically metaphors for the notches in the spine, reaching up to the Christ consciousness, and the liquid in your brain, which gets you to experience something,
Without ketamine.
Without ketamine, yes, exactly. A natural high through meditation, like all the different levels, the 33 levels of the tree of life and all that stuff. So
I mean, so what you're telling me is he secularized the Odyssey.
Yes.
Basically, yeah, it's boring as fuck.
Yes.
Oh my
It took
God.
the fun out of it.
Like that Hercules movie that came out about 10 years ago with The Rock.
Yeah.
And basically it secularized it. Basically it talked about the gods, and basically it was like the gods were kind of like made up.
Yeah.
So there were no gods in the Hercules movie.
Right.
He was kind of like, it was almost like he was like weaving a tale. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Zendaya is not Athena. That was a lie.
Yeah, I've kind of figured.
That was a ploy.
Right. She's a figment of his imagination. So she's not Athena, because Athena came as in various forms. She was kind of like a chameleon.
Right.
And that's in the French version.
Right.
If you watch the first episode,
which is also in the original book. She's a chameleon. Yeah.
Right, because one of the characters.
She's kind of like guiding him in some strange way.
And it's really it's a man, but it's really Athena.
Yeah. But let's wrap this up.
And not Athena figure.
We'll be talking all day. I got a barbecue to get ready.
Okay, I gotta get going too.
All right, you take care, man.
All right.
Yeah, you take care. Great to see you guys. And I guess you got the closing credit music this time, because last time my computer died. I got knocked out. Yeah, it was all Star Trek.
Yeah, it was funny. I have to go back and edit that. It's just like it was like. Boop, boop.
All right. Roll
The apocalypse is coming. Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running, frantically running from their fears, running with their tears, running from their lives, running from that dark shadowed creature that hides deep inside.